Chapter 2631. Gong Yun quickly ordered his subordinates to bring all the treasures in the treasury. They must go to High Heaven Pavilion and eat all the treasures. If they could really eat them, then 100 Treasures Pavilion would really be rich. Gong Yun excitedly went to High Heaven Pavilion. The old goat also left 100 Treasures Pavilion and went to the next shop under the protection of the 3 demon kings. Treasure Pavilion. Call your head shopkeeper, this young master has a big business to discuss with him. Standing in front of Treasure Pavilion, the old goat proudly smiled at the person who came to receive him. Soon, the head shopkeeper of Treasure Pavilion welcomed the old goat. In this way, the old goat continued to go in and out of various shops in Demon City. Then, the shopkeepers and elders of the shops began to go crazy and began to go to High Heaven Pavilion. The old goat's vision was also very crafty. He only chose the powerful shops and didn't even look at the small shops. Under the old goat's constant attacks, the people in the shops were attracted by the treasures in the old goat's hands and began to go crazy. Thus, everyone in the entire demon city saw an incomparably strange scene. On the bustling streets, the powerful shops closed one after another and then everyone rushed to High Heaven Pavilion. The originally cold and cheerless High Heaven Pavilion instantly became lively. First elder, second elder, I'm Gong Zong from 100 Treasure Pavilion. I'm friends with your third elder. We'll take all of these weapons. Elders, I am the head shopkeeper of Treasure Pavilion. The third elder asked me to come. I will eat all these pills. Why do you want all of them? I have a friendship with the third elder. These weapons are all mine. I want half of the pills. Whoever dares to fight with me, I won't play with him. Who is afraid of who? If you have the ability, come to the stage and fight. When everyone saw the weapons and pills in the High Heaven Pavilion, they all went crazy. Each and every one of their eyes lit up and their eyes were filled with incomparable excitement. Although they were ignorant and were called bumpkins by the old goat, they were not stupid. They could naturally see that the weapons and pills in High Heaven Pavilion were all of high quality. Even the worst of these weapons were much more precious than a 10th order divine weapon, and the price was even cheaper than a 10th order divine weapon. As for those pills, they were even more precious. In the past, although there were shops selling pills in the Demon City, the quality of those pills was very poor. They were only slightly purified and had not been refined at all. Whether it was appearance or effect, they were far inferior to the saint pills that Ling Xiao took out. What's more, there were many types of pills. Some could increase cultivation, some could expel inner demons, some could heal injuries, and some could even transform demonic beasts. Almost every demon race powerhouse went crazy over the transfiguration elixir. If a demon clan expert wanted to transform, they could only do so if their bloodline was strong enough, their cultivation was strong enough, or if they accidentally ate some kind of natural treasure to transform. How could they transform through elixirs? This had completely shattered their understanding of the world. However, when Ling Xiao personally demonstrated how a demon clan expert with a pig's head and a human body ate a transformation elixir and turned into a big fatty, everyone believed it. That was why they were in such a state of madness. Especially these demon clan experts. Although they were very kind when doing business, they still had the cruelty and madness of the demon clan in their bones. After a few words, they were about to fight. If the 4 demon kings had not set a rule that prohibited fighting in Demon City, they would have already done so. There were even people who revealed greedy expressions. Their eyes darted around as they wanted to rush in and rob. Rumble. The powerful aura of the demon kings descended, causing everyone to tremble and become obedient. The old goat returned with the 3 demon kings. What's all this noise about? Line up and come one by one. Whoever dares to be impudent in High Heaven Pavilion, I will cancel his right to buy. The old goat sneered. The Golden Lion King, Heavenly Wolf King, and Black Panther King stared coldly at the crowd in front of them. They were surrounded by a murderous aura as if they would kill anyone who dared to make a move. The old goat was shocked by the scene in front of him. He did not expect the demon clan in Demon City to be so crazy. Originally, they were planning to gradually make High Heaven Pavilion popular so that they could attract more experts from the demon clan. But now, it seemed that the old goat's fire had directly ignited High Heaven Pavilion. The third elder is right. Everyone line up and come one by one. Whoever dares to disrespect the third elder, I will be the first to not let him off. Everyone's heart trembled as they hurriedly said with a smile. After all, there were 3 demon kings in High Heaven Pavilion. Sages and great sages like them were no match for the demon kings. A trace of the demon king's aura was enough to make them tremble in fear. Order was finally restored in High Heaven Pavilion. It seems that we have underestimated these guys' desire for divine weapons and elixirs. Ling Xiao smiled bitterly. Isn't this good? With so many treasures of heaven and earth falling into our hands, I feel that our harvest in the demon city will definitely far surpass that of the elixir rivers of origin. Taoist Wuliang chuckled. The half-saint treasures and divine elixir pills that Ling Xiao and Taoist Wuliang took out were quickly snatched up by the demon clan experts. In the end, Ling Xiao and Taoist Wuliang took out all their half-saint treasures and divine elixir pills, but it was still not enough to satisfy the demon clan experts. However, they were much more interested in the 3rd floor of High Heaven Pavilion. Everyone, the treasures on the 3rd floor of High Heaven Pavilion are definitely supreme treasures, so please leave if you have less than 50 million origin elixir pills. The old goat's eyes revealed a trace of slyness as he smiled slightly. 50 million origin elixir pills. This sky-high price frightened many people. The old goat had made it clear that at least 50 million origin elixir pills worth of heavenly treasures were needed to enter the 3rd floor, but many people did not even have this qualification. In the end, only 4 or 5 rich shops passed the old goat's inspection and entered the 3rd floor of High Heaven Pavilion. On the 3rd floor of High Heaven Pavilion, there were 4 weapons and 2 bottles of elixir pills. The 4 weapons emitted resplendent light and were filled with a faint saintly aura. They looked crystal clear and were extremely extraordinary. They instantly attracted everyone's attention. Everyone's breathing became a little rapid in an instant. Weapons of this level are indeed supreme treasures. Gong Yun of 100 Treasure Pavilion said with a trembling body. Bookmark for easy reading. Chapter 2632. In the eyes of Gong Zhe and the other shopkeepers, these 4 lower-grade holy treasures looked extremely exquisite. The strange patterns and aura of the Great Path made them feel as if they had never seen such precious treasures before. For lower-grade holy treasures, 2 long swords, a saber, and an iron hammer. These 4 lower-grade holy treasures had been refined by Taoist Wuliang. He had engraved sturdy runes and miniature formations on them. After being infused with saint power, even a holy king would find it difficult to destroy them. These were the real demon king weapons. After seeing these 4 weapons, Gong Zhe and the other shopkeepers looked at each other. Their eyes were filled with excitement, and they were not willing to give in. They had all decided that no matter what price they had to pay, they had to obtain these 4 treasures. Shopkeepers, don't be anxious. Do you know what elixir this is? Ling Xiao smiled faintly and took the 2 white jade elixir bottles. What elixir is this? Is it more precious than these 4 divine weapons? Gong Zhe asked curiously. The elixir in this bottle is called the Enlightenment Elixir. As the name suggests, after taking it, it can let people enter the enlightenment state. Even a demon king expert will be affected. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. What? Enlightenment elixir. Gong Zhe and the others suddenly trembled, and their eyes became extremely hot. For the demon clan, although their lifespan was long and their bloodline was powerful, it was extremely difficult to comprehend the Great Path law. They could only rely on countless years of cultivation to slowly break through. Entering the enlightenment state was a realm that all demon clan experts dreamed of. For example, the 1,000 demon fruit could let people comprehend the Great Path law, so every year's demon conference would attract so many demon clan experts. The enlightenment elixir in Ling Zhao's hand could let people enter the enlightenment state. Wasn't that comparable to the 1,000 demon fruit? This was definitely a priceless treasure. That's right. Although this enlightenment elixir can't let people directly break through to the demon king realm like the 1,000 demon fruit, it can let people enter the enlightenment state. The effect is no worse than the 1,000 demon fruit. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. This enlightenment elixir was an extremely precious divine elixir. Ling Xiao added the leaves of the enlightenment tree to it. It contained the charm of the great path and could indeed let people enter the enlightenment state. For Ling Xiao, this enlightenment elixir was nothing, but for the demon clan experts, especially those in the demon king realm, it was definitely a supreme treasure. Great Elder, what about the other elixir? Gong Yi resisted the urge to immediately bid and continued to ask. The other type of pill was also placed on the 3rd floor of High Heaven Pavilion. It was likely to be as precious as the Tao comprehending pill. The elixir in this bottle is called the Ancestral Origin Elixir. Ling Xiao said slowly. Ancestral elixir. Gong Zhi suddenly zhe thought. Ancestral elixir. Demon elixir ir. Elixir spirit elixir. Elixir. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Them. Ancestral origin elixir. For all the demon clan experts, this was simply an unbearable temptation. The foundation of the demon clan lay in their bloodline. The stronger their bloodline, the greater their future achievements. If their bloodline could return to its origin, not only would their strength skyrocket, their future potential would be limitless. This was a treasure that was related to the foundation of the demon clan. It was even more precious than the enlightenment elixir. Gong Zhi and the other shopkeepers looked at each other. Their eyes were filled with incomparable shock. Whether it was the 4 holy treasures or the 2 elixirs, they were all irresistible temptations to them. Great Elder, what kind of conditions are needed to exchange for these treasures? Gong Zhi asked with a little shortness of breath. He knew that since these 6 treasures were placed on the 3rd floor of the Lingxiao Pavilion, it would be difficult to exchange for them with ordinary heaven and earth treasures like on the 1st and 2nd floor. These 6 heaven and earth treasures are incomparably precious and cost us a lot of effort. So if you want to exchange for these 6 treasures, you must exchange them with heaven and earth treasures that contain the Great Path imprint, such as this black dragon gold. If you have such heaven and earth treasures, you can exchange them for treasures. Ling Xiao and Taoist Wuliang looked at each other and then smiled slightly. This was his real purpose. Using these treasures to exchange for extreme Tao metals that contained the Great Path imprint, he believed that since the Divine Weapon Pavilion had the Dragon Vein Gold, the other shops should also have such extreme Tao metals. Heaven and earth treasures that contain the Great Path imprint, this is too rare. Gong Zhi and the other great elders smiled bitterly as if a bucket of cold water had been poured over them. They had naturally heard that Ling Xiao had purchased the Black Dragon Gold from the Divine Weapon Pavilion yesterday. However, extreme Tao metals like the Black Dragon Gold were indeed very rare. If they could be refined into a Demon King weapon, it would be much more powerful than ordinary Demon King weapons. Although they were all shopkeepers of large shops, heaven and earth treasures that contained the Great Path imprint were also incomparably precious to them. Great Elder, I have a heaven and earth treasure here that should contain the Great Path imprint, but there is not much of it. Can I exchange it for a treasure? Gong Zhi suddenly asked. Oh, what kind of treasure is it? Can you let me have a look? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he said indifferently. Originally, he didn't think that these shopkeepers would have any extreme Tao metals in their hands. He just wanted to use their mouths to spread the name of High Heaven Pavilion. The monster kings of the 72 caves should have a lot of good things in their hands. If they were willing to come and trade, that would be High Heaven Pavilion's goal. Ling Xiao didn't expect that Gong Zhi would have extreme Tao metals. 100 Treasure Pavilion accidentally obtained this at the edge of Nirvana Ocean. However, it only weighs about 50 kilograms. It looks like some kind of golden sand, but it is very difficult to smelt with the flame of life, so it has always been in the treasury. Gong Zhi said slowly, then took out a jade bottle. Let's take a look first. Taoist Wuliang took the jade bottle and opened it. Immediately, a bright golden light gushed out from the mouth of the bottle. Inside the jade bottle were grains of crystal clear sand. They looked like gold, but they were pure and transparent and emitted a strange light. This is immortal sky crystal sand. It really is an extreme Tao metal, and it weighs more than 50 kilograms. We're rich, we're definitely rich. Taoist Wu Yang's ecstatic voice entered Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness. Immortal sky crystal sand. It's actually such a divine item. Ling Xiao's heart trembled. The immortal sky crystal sand was indeed an extreme Tao metal. It had the property of immortality. Refining an extreme Tao Emperor weapon required the immortal sky crystal sand to make it immortal. Even after hundreds of millions of years, it would still retain its extreme Tao Emperor aura. Bookmark for easy reading. Chapter 2633. 50 kilograms of immortal sky crystal sand did not seem like a lot. However, the amount of immortal sky crystal sand needed to refine an extreme-grade Emperor weapon was very little. A few dozen pieces of immortal sky crystal sand could allow an extreme-grade Emperor weapon to maintain its immortal attribute. What about 10,000 pieces of immortal sky crystal sand? He had struck it rich. Cough cough. Shopkeeper Gong, this kind of sand does contain the great Tao imprint. It's extremely precious and useful to me. You can choose 2 of these 6 treasures. Ling Xiao coughed lightly and smiled faintly. I can choose 2. Thank you, Great Elder. Thank you, Great Elder. Gong Yi was overjoyed, and his eyes were filled with excitement. He only had 50 kilograms of this golden sand. He thought it would be good enough if he could exchange it for 1 treasure. However, he did not expect to be able to exchange for 2 treasures. He was extremely excited and felt extremely grateful to Ling Xiao. This great elder was really a good person. I want a treasured sword and an ancestral restoration elixir. Gong Yun said without hesitation. Although he also coveted the Tao comprehension elixir, he knew that the ancestral restoration elixir was the most precious. If he could offer this ancestral restoration elixir to the 4 grand monster kings, the benefits he would gain would be unimaginable. Elder Gong, keep these 2 treasures well. Ling Xiao smiled and kept the immortal sky crystal sand. He then handed a divine sword and an ancestral restoration elixir to Gong Yun. Being able to obtain the immortal sky crystal sand was probably the biggest gain of the day. Gong Yun kept the 2 treasures under the envious gazes of the surrounding people. He then turned around and left Ling Xiao Pavilion without hesitation. First Elder, although we don't have any heavenly treasures with great Tao imprints, we do have a lot of top-grade heavenly treasures. It doesn't matter even if we give you a little more. Please make an exception for us. The other shopkeepers were also extremely tempted as they spoke to Ling Xiao. I'm sorry, everyone. We spent a lot of effort to refine the treasures on the 3rd floor. We only exchanged for treasures that contain the great Tao imprint. As for the other treasures, you can go to the 1st and 2nd floor to exchange for them tomorrow. Ling Xiao smiled, but his expression was resolute. He understood that the rarer something was, the more valuable it was. Divine weapons could not be put out so many at once. They had to be placed here to attract more people. He still had to rely on these shopkeepers to spread the news of High Heaven Pavilion's treasures, so naturally he couldn't sell all of these treasures. The shopkeepers' eyes were burning with passion, but they were helpless when they saw how determined Ling Xiao was. Shopkeepers, if you find any heavenly treasures that contain the great Tao brand, please come to High Heaven Pavilion to exchange for them. If the shopkeepers have nothing else to do, please leave. Ling Xiao smiled. Don't worry, Grand Elder. We'll return right away to search for the treasures that contain the brands of the Grand Tao. The shopkeepers turned around and left reluctantly. However, there was a very young man who stayed behind. His eyes were filled with hesitation. Shopkeeper Lin, is there anything else? Ling Xiao asked curiously. The young man in front of him was called Lin Fan. He was the shopkeeper of the treasure house. Although he looked very young, his cultivation had reached the great sage realm perfection. He was only one step away from entering the Holy King realm. Moreover, Ling Xiao could see that he was very young, and his bloodline was somewhat mixed. To be able to cultivate to this realm, he must have some secrets. Grand Elder, I have something that I want to sell to you. But I want a sacred sword, a Tao comprehension pill, an ancestral restoration pill, and 100 million origin pills. Lin Fan gritted his teeth and stared at Ling Xiao nervously. Oh. What treasure is shopkeeper Lin talking about? Can you show it to me? If it's really precious, I can buy it. Ling Xiao asked curiously. He didn't think that Lin Fan was asking for too much. Since Lin Fan dared to ask for so many things, it could be seen that the thing he had must be extraordinary. At least, Lin Fan thought that it was incomparably precious. Grand Elder, I can see that you are a straightforward person, so I'm willing to exchange it. If I didn't need these treasures urgently, I would never exchange them. You can take a look. Lin Fan saw that Ling Xiao's expression was calm and didn't reveal any ridicule. Only then did he heave a sigh of relief and say slowly. Buzz. The space between his eyebrows shone brightly. In an instant, a piece of jade in the shape of a crescent moon flew out, emitting a hazy light. It looked crystal clear, as cold and mysterious as the moon. It also contained a mysterious power of the Great Path. It was as if it could let people directly enter the state of path comprehension. As soon as the jade piece appeared, Ling Xiao felt as if the blood in his body was about to boil, and an incomparably strong wave of desire came from his body. This is a fragment of the creation jade disc. Ling Xiao's body trembled, and a storm raged in his heart. How could he not recognize that this jade piece was a fragment of the creation jade disc? And it looked huge, as if it was the missing half of the creation jade disc in Ling Xiao's body. Previously, Ling Xiao had gradually collected the fragments of the creation jade disc that he had obtained from the Great Void Emperor, but only half of the creation jade disc was formed. In the end, it had merged with his body. Ling Xiao didn't expect to meet the other half of the creation jade disc on this endless island. Shopkeeper Lin, what is this? Can you introduce it to me? Ling Xiao's expression was still incomparably calm, as if there were no waves as he asked faintly. Lin Fan had also been paying attention to Ling Xiao's expression. Seeing that Ling Xiao didn't seem to notice anything, he was slightly disappointed. This is a treasure that I obtained by accident. I call it the Tao Jade. In fact, I don't know what the use of this treasure is, but with the Tao Jade, my cultivation can advance by leaps and bounds, and constantly break through to the current realm. I vaguely feel that the Tao Jade is not complete. Perhaps only by finding the complete Tao Jade can I unlock the true secret of the Tao Jade. Lin Fan said slowly. The Tao Jade? Since this treasure is so important to shopkeeper Lin, why would shopkeeper Lin sell it to me? Perhaps with the Tao Jade, shopkeeper Lin can quickly break through to the Saint King realm. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, and he smiled slightly. Because I can't wait. Since my cultivation reached the Great Sage Perfection realm, the Tao Jade's effect on me has been minimal, so I want to sell it to Great Elder. If Great Elder is willing, then let's trade. If not, then forget it. Lin Fan gritted his teeth and said hesitantly. This Lin Fan, I'm afraid he is also a person with a story. Ling Xiao's heart moved. He could see the anger, pain, murderous intent, and other complex expressions in Lin Fan's eyes, and he secretly guessed. Perhaps there was some hidden reason that made him decide to sell the Tao Jade in order to obtain sufficient cultivation resources from Ling Xiao. Okay. The Tao Jade is mine, and these are yours. Ling Xiao said faintly. He directly grabbed the Tao Jade in his hand, and then with a wave of his sleeve, a sacred sword, a Tao comprehension pill, an ancestral returning pill, and 100 million origin pills flew towards Lin Fan. After Lin Fan kept these treasures, he severed his connection with the Tao Jade. But for some reason, the moment he severed his connection with the Tao Jade, he felt a sharp pain in his heart. It was as though he had lost the most precious thing in his life. But Lin Fan didn't think much about it. A cold murderous intent flashed in his eyes. He silently cupped his hands towards Ling Xiao, then turned and left High Heaven Pavilion. Chapter 2634. The creation jade disc is in my hands. Ling Xiao's body jerked as his eyes shone with an uncontrollable excitement. The 10 utmost chaos treasures were unparalleled treasures that were formed at the beginning of chaos and the evolution of the universe. Each and every one of them possessed an unparalleled amount of power, stealing the fortunes of the heaven and earth and evolving the laws of the great Tao of the heavens. Anyone who could obtain an utmost chaos treasure would possess a great fortune and fortune. They could be called the son of fortune. For Ling Xiao to be able to come this far and even live for 2 lifetimes, the wordless heavenly book's effects were immeasurable. Back then, the Emperor Taishu had relied on this utmost chaos treasure, the creation jade disc, to fight against the unparalleled emperor with his cultivation state of immortal emperor state. That was how heaven-defying utmost chaos treasures were. However, Ling Xiao had only obtained a fragment of the creation jade disc previously. Therefore, he did not know what a complete creation jade disc could do. But today, after obtaining the fragment of the creation jade disc from Lin Fan, Ling Xiao saw the possibility of a complete creation jade disc. Wu Yang, I'll leave Ling Xiao's sect to you. I'm going into seclusion for a couple of days. Ling Xiao tossed these words to Daoist Wu Yang before returning to the Demon King's residence. Sitting down in a lotus position within the Demon King's residence, Ling Xiao laid down a couple of layers of powerful defensive seals before taking out the fragment of the creation jade disc. Lin Fan's creation jade disc fragment looked just like a crescent moon. It was sparkling and translucent, pure and flawless. It contained a mysterious ripple within it. A single look at it and one would be able to sense some sort of law of the great Tao. Ling Xiao's body was filled with an incomparably strong desire. It was as though a beggar who had been starving for days had finally seen food. He could not wait to devour the fragment of the creation jade disc. Xing! The moment Ling Xiao let go of the suppression on his physical body, his entire body shone with a bedazzling light. The fragment of the creation jade disc in his hands began to buzz and vibrate, as though it was extremely excited. Boom! Instantly, the void vibrated as a series of mysterious laws of the great Tao shot out from the void and intertwined with the fragment of the creation jade disc, causing it to shine with a bedazzling brilliance. If Ling Xiao had not set up a formation to isolate the void, such a commotion would have alarmed the entire myriad demon city. The fragment of the good fortune jade plate seemed to come alive. It flowed with mysterious light and intertwined with the great Tao. At the same time, endless light gathered in Ling Xiao's body. The fragment of the good fortune jade plate that had already fused with Ling Xiao appeared. The 2 pieces of the jade plate of good fortune slowly merged into one. In an instant, a bright light burst out like a bright sun. It seemed to be the source of the great path, emitting a mysterious aura of the 3,000 great paths. The good fortune jade disc flew towards Ling Xiao's heart and slowly merged with it. In an instant, Ling Xiao's heart began to beat violently. Vaguely, a chaotic aura emanated from Ling Xiao's body. He seemed to have seen the beginning of the chaos, the evolution of the 3,000 grand Daos, and they established the cornerstone of a universe. They evolved into grand Tao laws that regulated the operation of the myriad of worlds in the universe and the cycle of life, death, and reincarnation of all living beings. The good fortune jade disc contained 3,000 great Daos. The cultivation of an expert was a process of constantly understanding nature and understanding the grand Tao laws. The stronger one's cultivation, the deeper one's understanding of the grand Tao laws, and the more one could control the power of the grand Tao laws. However, if one wanted to completely understand the 3,000 great Daos, even a supreme emperor would find it difficult to do so. Although Ling Xiao's talent was extraordinary and he had cultivated many secret techniques recorded in the wordless heavenly book, he still seemed to be separated by a layer of fog in the face of the vast grand Tao laws. However, the good fortune jade disc was like a mirror that clearly reflected the 3,000 great Daos. It allowed Ling Xiao to be in a state of enlightenment all the time, and to comprehend the grand Tao laws. The function of the good fortune jade disc was very simple. It allowed one to comprehend the 3,000 great Daos and control the power of the 3,000 great Daos. After the good fortune jade disc fused with Ling Xiao's heart, Ling Xiao suddenly felt that the Grand Dao laws were very clear. The speed at which he comprehended the Grand Dao laws had increased by hundreds or even thousands of times. In Ling Xiao's spirit sea, the saintly way origin root floated in the chaotic void. It looked ethereal and mysterious, as if it was absorbing the surrounding energy and gradually growing stronger. Ling Xiao could clearly see that his saintly way origin root was rooted in the chaotic void. Mysterious threads floated, containing mysterious energy waves. The saintly way origin root was the foundation of Ling Xiao's great Dao, and it contained all the grand Dao laws that Ling Xiao had comprehended. Ling Xiao could see that there were dozens of crystal-clear buds growing on his saintly way origin root. There were blazing flames, domineering lightning, mysterious time, thick earth, flowing water, gentle wind, cold ice. Those mysterious grand Dao laws seemed to be about to grow, and they appeared on his saintly way origin root. Once the saintly way origin root became a tree, those buds would be branches and leaves, and they would support a vast world. At that time, the saintly way tree would appear, and Ling Xiao would break through to the sage ruler realm. Are these the grand Dao laws that I have comprehended? Time, devour, yin, yang, 5 elements, lightning, flame. There was a strange look in Ling Xiao's eyes. He could see that his saintly way origin root flickered with 4 colors, and they respectively emitted the aura of chaos, destiny, karma, and reincarnation. These 4 supreme laws formed the foundation of his saintly way origin root. The buds on the saintly way origin root were the grand Dao laws that Ling Xiao had comprehended. He did not expect that he had already comprehended dozens of grand Dao laws. However, among them, Ling Xiao's time law and devour law had already reached the great accomplishment realm. The other laws varied in strength. Under the creation jade disc's manifestation, all the grand Dao laws that Ling Xiao had comprehended appeared clearly before him. The creation jade disc can actually allow me to comprehend 3,000 grand Dao laws? Ling Xiao's body shook. He could feel that as the creation jade disc merged with his heart, the speed at which he comprehended the grand Dao laws was extremely fast. His saintly way origin root was also growing rapidly, and the dozens of buds were also rapidly maturing. There were even more buds of laws appearing continuously. Could it be that with the support of the creation jade disc, my saintly way origin root can gather 3,000 grand Dao laws? Ling Xiao's heart trembled, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. Breaking through from the great saint realm to the sage ruler realm was the process of the saintly way origin root in one's body growing to the maximum and transforming into a saintly way tree. Many experts would try their best to comprehend as many grand Dao laws as possible before reaching the sage ruler realm, so that their saintly way origin root could accumulate a deeper foundation. Only in this way would the saintly way origin root be able to obtain more power in the process of transforming into a saintly way tree. Bookmark for easy reading. Chapter 2635. However, Ling Xiao had never heard of anyone who was able to condense 3,000 Great Path nomological laws with the Sage Path origin root at the Great Saint stage. This was simply impossible. I've only been cultivating for a short period of time. Even though I've managed to condense a few dozen Great Dao laws by chance, I'm still a far cry from those geniuses who have cultivated for tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of years. When they were saint kings, they had at least condensed hundreds of great Dao laws. However, with the creation jade disc, I might be able to carve out an unprecedented path. Ling Xiao slowly opened his eyes. His eyes were dazzling and contained a strong sense of confidence. The creation jade disc had an unimaginable effect on him now. It was no wonder Lin Fan could break through to the great saint stage in such a short time with only the fragment of the creation jade disc and with such a mixed bloodline. Ling Xiao also faintly guessed that perhaps it was because the good fortune jade disc was not complete enough that Lin Fan's cultivation base could not take the last step to transform into the holy tree and become the king of holy path after reaching the great sage realm perfection. However, this also benefited Ling Xiao. If the creation jade disc allowed Lin Fan to break through to the Saint King stage, Lin Fan would never exchange the fragment of the creation jade disc with Ling Xiao. Rumble. Although the wordless heavenly book and the jade disc of good fortune had fused with Ling Xiao's body, Ling Xiao found that they fused in different places. The wordless heavenly book had merged with Ling Xiao's head. Ling Xiao's sea of knowledge, head, and eyes had all undergone some kind of evolution, allowing him to see some kind of change in the unseen world. The creation jade disc had merged with Ling Xiao's heart and provided Ling Xiao with an endless amount of energy, allowing Ling Xiao to comprehend the great Tao laws thousands of times faster. Ling Xiao realized that there were more and more law sprouts on his Saint Tao route, and his comprehension of the great Tao laws was getting deeper and deeper. It wouldn't be long before his Saint Tao route would be able to condense the laws of the 3,000 Grand Taos, and he would attain a supreme realm that was unprecedented in history. Ling Xiao went into seclusion in the Demon King's residence for 3 days and 3 nights. After 3 days and 3 nights, Ling Xiao pushed open the door and slowly walked out. His cultivation was still at the Great Sage Perfection realm, and there seemed to be no change. However, his entire person seemed to have become somewhat different. He was indifferent and ethereal. If one closed their eyes, they would be able to sense that Ling Xiao had become one with the heavens and the earth, fusing with the Great Path and becoming a part of the Great Path. Ling Xiao seemed to be in a Tao comprehending realm at all times. Brother Ling Tian, you've finally come out. Hurry up and go to High Heaven Pavilion. That bastard Bai Feng has come to cause trouble for us. The black bear spirit cried out in surprise and anger. Ling Xiao saw that the black bear spirit was guarding outside his room. What's the situation? Ling Xiao's eyes darkened. In the morning, when you were still cultivating in seclusion, Crown Prince Bai Feng brought the Black Tiger King and the 8 Extremities King to block the entrance of High Heaven Pavilion, not allowing anyone to enter and forcing the people of High Heaven Pavilion to come out and apologize. My big brothers, the Golden Lion King, the Heavenly Wolf King, and the Black Panther King, wanted to force their way out but were injured by the Black Tiger King and the 8 Extremities King. All of them were captured by Crown Prince Bai Feng. I also ran fast, that's why I waited here for you to come out. Our High Heaven Pavilion has now become the biggest joke in the entire Demon City. That bastard Bai Feng is too despicable. He does whatever he wants just because his father is the White Dragon King. He deserves to die. The Black Bear spirit recounted the incident angrily. Crown Prince Bai Feng. He dares to make a move in the Demon City. Ling Xiao's eyes turned cold. He did not expect that even the Golden Lion King, the Heavenly Wolf King, and the Black Panther King would be injured and captured alive. That Black Tiger King and the 8 Extremities King were so powerful. Bai Feng indeed didn't dare to make a move in the Demon City. After all, this is the rule set by the 4 great Demon Kings at the same time. However, just because they can't make a move doesn't mean they can't fight back. My big brothers attacked in anger and were caught by the Black Tiger King and the 8 Extremities King, so they were injured. However, Devouring Heaven and Piercing Heaven were not injured. The Black Bear spirit said angrily. Who are the Black Tiger King and the 8 Extremities King? Ling Xiao asked. Hearing that the old goat and Taoist Wu Yang were not injured, he heaved a sigh of relief. The Black Tiger King and the 8 Extremities King are ranked in the top 10 among the 72 Demon Kings. The Black Tiger King is ranked 9th while the 8 Extremities King is ranked 3rd. My big brothers are no match for the Black Tiger King and the 8 Extremities King. The Black Bear spirit said. Very good. I want to see how strong the Black Tiger King and the 8 Extremities King are. Bai Feng is courting death. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with killing intent as he rushed towards the High Heaven Pavilion. Brother Ling Tian, wait for me. When the Black Bear spirit saw Ling Xiao disappear in an instant, he shouted and chased after him hurriedly. Outside the High Heaven Pavilion. The Crown Prince of Bai Feng was sitting on a huge white jade chair. He looked lazy and comfortable. Beside him were 2 beautiful women who were feeding him spirit fruits. The Golden Lion King, the Heavenly Wolf King, and the Black Panther King were all bruised and swollen. They were tied up by thick chains and knelt in front of the Crown Prince of Bai Feng. Their eyes were filled with anger and unwillingness. Two figures as tall as hills stood in front of the high heaven pavilion. Their auras were powerful and terrifying. Their eyes were filled with indifference. One of them was a burly man dressed in animal skin. His muscles were bulging and his blood was boiling. His whole body was filled with a black evil spirit. His eyes were filled with a cruel and overbearing look. The other was a young man in a Taoist robe. He had long purple hair and a devilishly handsome face. There seemed to be a mysterious light flickering in his eyes. Ripples appeared in the space around him. The two of them stood in front of the high heaven pavilion. No one dared to get close to the high heaven pavilion. The high heaven pavilion is finished. They dared to offend the crown prince of Baifeng. I'm afraid they won't be able to bear the consequences. The crown prince of Baifeng even brought the Black Tiger King and the Eight-Pole King. They are the two most powerful demon kings under the White Dragon King. They are extremely powerful. Killing ordinary demon kings is as easy as pie. Isn't that right? Didn't you see that the Golden Lion King, the Heavenly Wolf King, and the Black Panther King were injured by the two demon kings? But why is the Crown Prince of Baifeng blocking the door? He might as well just kill his way in. Private fights are not allowed in the Demon City. This is the rule set by the four demon kings. The Crown Prince of Baifeng doesn't dare to violate it. However, I think the Crown Prince of Baifeng has his eyes on the treasures in the High Heaven Pavilion. He's forcing the High Heaven Pavilion to compromise. Chapter 2636. Outside High Heaven Pavilion, there were many monster race masters who had gathered to watch the fun, each of them looking as if they didn't mind the drama. People of the High Heaven Pavilion, listen up. You have offended the Crown Prince, and this is an unforgivable crime. If you know what's good for you, you'd better kneel in front of the Crown Prince and admit your sins. Then, hand over all the treasures of the High Heaven Pavilion. Otherwise, the Golden Lion King, Heavenly Wolf King, and Black Panther King will all die. Do you really want to watch them die in front of the High Heaven Pavilion? The Black Tiger King said with a deep gaze. The Crown Prince of Baifeng's expression was also cold, and a trace of burning greed flashed in his eyes. Naturally, it was because Ling Xiao had thrown him out of the Divine Weapon Pavilion 3 days ago, so he was filled with hatred. When the Black Tiger King and the Eight Extremities King finally returned to the Demon City, he immediately brought the two of them over to find trouble with Ling Xiao. However, the High Heaven Pavilion had become popular in the Demon City in the past 3 days. The treasures in the High Heaven Pavilion were especially coveted by all the Demon Clan experts. The Crown Prince of Baifeng naturally saw the treasures in the High Heaven Pavilion and was instantly filled with greed. He had ordered the Black Tiger King and the Eight-Pole King to block the entrance of High Heaven Pavilion, not only because private fights were prohibited in Demon City, but also because he wanted to vent the anger in his heart and wait for High Heaven Pavilion to appear. The treasures in the High Heaven Pavilion must be in the hands of the Crown Prince of Baifeng. The Golden Lion King, Heavenly Wolf King, and Black Panther King kneeled in front of the Crown Prince of Baifeng. Their faces were all bruised and swollen, and the anger in their eyes was about to spew out. Eight-Pole King, that old fox, is too shameless. This king will find a chance to kill this bastard. The Golden Lion King was so angry that he was stamping with rage. The three of them were actually ambushed by the Eight-Pole King. The Eight-Pole King's innate ability was the space prison, which could seal space and imprison living beings. Previously, the Crown Prince of Baifeng brought the Black Tiger King and the Eight-Pole King to cause trouble. The three of them had just rushed out of the High Heaven Pavilion when they were ambushed by the Eight-Pole King. The space prison was used to imprison them. At the same time, the Black Tiger King punched and kicked them and captured the three of them. Not only did they not use their innate abilities, but they also didn't use the treasures given to them by Ling Xiao. Furthermore, the three sacred treasures had become Prince White Maple's spoils of war and were taken away. 2 was too humiliating. Although private fights were prohibited in the Demon City, the three of them were captured in an instant. They did not make any noise at all, nor were they noticed by others. It was an incomparably tragic situation for them to be reduced to prisoners. Crown Prince of Bai, King. He was just a vile person who used his power to bully others. You if you dare. The old heaven pavilion. The old goat stood on the third floor of the high heaven pavilion and sneered condescendingly. His heart was also burning with rage. If not for Taoist Wu Yang's constant persuasion, he would have charged down and killed the Black Tiger King, the Eight Extremities King, and Prince White Maple. These bastards were too despicable. The high heaven pavilion was blocked for a day. How many origin pills did they lose? The old goat's heart ached just thinking about it. Old goat, don't bother with them. They don't dare to attack. After all, this is the demon city. If they really dare to attack, then we'll just kill these bastards. At most, we'll just escape from the demon city. Taoist Wu Yang smiled faintly. I don't know when Ling Xiao will come out of seclusion. Are we just going to let them block the door? If the Golden Lion King, Heavenly Wolf King, and Black Panther King are killed by them, where will I put my face? The old goat said angrily. Don't worry. It's precisely because they don't dare to attack the high heaven pavilion that they're using this method. They just want to annoy us. However, I can sense that the Black Tiger King is one thing, but that Eight Extremities King is unfathomable. We are definitely not his match. Taoist Wu Yang looked at the demonic young man below with a hint of seriousness in his eyes. The Black Tiger King was very strong. He should be stronger than the Golden Lion King and the other two by a small realm. However, the Eight-Pole King gave Taoist Wu Yang an incomparably dangerous feeling. Although the Endless Sea Island looked like a remote place, it did not rule out the possibility of terrifying experts. Ling Xiao came out of seclusion. Hee, this is going to be a good show. The old goat's face was originally filled with anger, but his anger instantly turned into joy and he laughed. Outside the High Heaven Pavilion, the Crown Prince of Baifeng said indifferently, I didn't expect that the so-called High Heaven Pavilion would not save its own brothers. How disappointing. Since you don't want to save them, then I can only kill them. Buzz. The Crown Prince of Baifeng's palm shone brightly, and a purple saber appeared. It looked crystal clear, like a treasure, and instantly caused a commotion among the crowd. It was the purple sun saber of the Golden Lion King. The Crown Prince of Baifeng held the purple sun saber and the blade fell on the Golden Lion King's neck. TSK. What a treasure. I'll use your treasure to kill you. I'm sure you can rest in peace. The Crown Prince of Baifeng said with a faint smile. There was a hint of cruelty in his eyes. Baifeng, I'll fuck your mother. The Golden Lion King was so angry that he roared. There was a hint of despair in his eyes. Was he really going to die in the hands of the Crown Prince of Baifeng? You're courting death. The Crown Prince of Baifeng's eyes revealed a murderous glint. He instantly wanted to kill the Golden Lion King. No matter what, he had to use the Golden Lion King to establish his prestige. Boom. However, at that moment, the purple sun saber in the Crown Prince of Baifeng's hands suddenly shone brightly. It seemed to have completely gone berserk. It broke free from the Crown Prince of Baifeng's control and slashed at the chains on the Golden Lion King's body. There was a terrifying explosion of light, and the chains broke. Baifeng, do you want to die? A cold and indifferent voice rang out from the dazzling divine light that filled the sky. Whoosh! The Crown Prince of Baifeng only felt the sound of something breaking through the air. He was shocked and angry, and without thinking, he punched out. However, his fist seemed to be clamped by an iron clamp, and he couldn't move it. His vision blurred, and Ling Xiao appeared in front of him in an instant. He was only a meter away from the Crown Prince of Baifeng. Baifeng could even feel Ling Xiao's sharp gaze, and he subconsciously wanted to avoid it. How dare you? Who are you? How dare you sneak attack my Crown Prince? The Black Tiger King saw Ling Xiao appear in front of the Crown Prince of Baifeng and was instantly enraged. His blood and chi surged violently, and his murderous aura condensed into the shape of a huge black tiger. Then, it let out a furious roar and pounced on Ling Xiao. Roar! The tiger's roar shook the void, and the surrounding people felt their blood and chi surging. Their faces turned pale, and they couldn't help but retreat. What a terrifying Black Tiger King! Chapter 2637. Scram! Ling Xiao said coldly. He did not even look at the Black Tiger King as he threw out a punch. Roar! A dragon's roar reverberated in the air as it emitted a majestic dragon's aura. The Black Tiger King only felt as if a golden divine dragon was charging toward him. His eyes were filled with a cold and majestic gleam, which turned into a blazing fist imprint that bloomed like the rising sun. Boom! The huge black tiger condensed by the Black Tiger King was actually shattered. The two huge fists collided. The Black Tiger King felt an unstoppable divine power coming at him, causing his expression to change. His entire body flew backwards as if he was riding on the clouds. Bang! The Black Tiger King's body crashed into the street in the distance. The hard blue stone on the ground shattered as a human-shaped crater appeared. What? The surrounding people were all shocked, and their eyes were filled with disbelief. Is this the mysterious Grand Elder of the High Heaven Pavilion? He's only at the Eminent Saint stage. How did he send the Black Tiger King flying with just a punch? Someone exclaimed in surprise. The Black Tiger King is ranked 9th among the demon kings of the 72 caves. However, he possesses the bloodline of an ancient divine beast. His strength is unparalleled. In terms of physical strength, he's ranked 3rd. Who is this person? How does he have such a freakish physical body? Everyone was in disbelief as they looked at Ling Xiao in awe, trying to guess his identity. The Black Tiger King represented invincibility and strength in their hearts. However, they did not expect Ling Xiao to send the Black Tiger King flying with just a punch. Damn it! How can he be so strong? Crown Prince Baifeng's eyes were filled with shock as he thought to himself. His expression was unsightly. Crack! Ling Xiao did not even look at the Black Tiger King as he slashed down with his palm. The blazing light shattered the chains on the Golden Lion King, the Heavenly Wolf King, and the Black Panther King. 3 majestic origin energies surged into their bodies, causing their auras to become stronger at a speed visible to the naked eye. Brother Ling Tian, you've finally come out of closed-door cultivation. Crown Prince Baifeng is really going too far. The Golden Lion King's eyes were filled with excitement. At the same time, he glared at Crown Prince Baifeng. While Crown Prince Baifeng was in a daze, Ling Xiao saved the 3 demon kings. He was shocked and angry, and his eyes were filled with cold killing intent. Ling Tian, you're finally here. Baifeng's Crown Prince glared at Ling Xiao. The 8 Extremities King and the Black Tiger King stood vigilantly around the Baifeng Crown Prince. They stared at Ling Xiao with sharp eyes. Whether it was the 8 Extremities King or the Black Tiger King, they no longer regarded Ling Xiao as an ordinary great sage at this moment. Each of them acted as if they were facing a formidable enemy. Baifeng, do you really think that I don't dare to kill you? Ling Xiao said indifferently. His eyes revealed a trace of cold killing intent. These spoiled brats who relied on their family backgrounds loved to cause trouble and annoyed Ling Xiao. If not for the myriad demon meat, he would have killed the Crown Prince of Baifeng long ago. Kill me? Are you talking in your sleep? Ling Tian, I don't care who you are. But this is the myriad demon city. You're a dragon who has to coil up and a tiger who has to lie down. If you offend me, there will be no place for you in the entire myriad demon city. Baifeng's eyes were cold as he sneered. Is that so? I really want to try. How are you going to make me have no place in the myriad demon city? Ling Xiao said coldly. Ling Tian, you really don't know what's good for you. Could it be that you think that the demon city's rules forbidding private fights would be able to protect your life? Do you have the guts to make a bet with me? Baifeng sneered. There was a trace of madness in his eyes. What are we betting on? Ling Xiao's eyes were still indifferent. Life and death arena. We'll bet on our lives. He's the Eight Extremities King. You and he will fight in the life and death arena. If you win, I won't cause you any trouble in the future. But if you lose, not only will you die, but your high heaven pavilion will also belong to me. Do you dare to bet? Bai Feng said coldly. Although private fights were prohibited in the Myriad Demon City, there was a life and death arena. It was specially set up for those demon clan experts who had a grudge against each other. Private fights were prohibited, but they could fight in the life and death arena. In the life and death arena, victory and defeat were determined. After one side died in battle, the grudges were naturally settled. Are you interested in my high heaven pavilion? You can bet with your life, but your bet is too small. Ling Xiao's eyes showed a trace of ridicule. Although Crown Prince Bai Feng looked ruthless and crazy, he never dared to bet in person. Even if he bet with his life, he would let others do it for him. Ling Xiao also understood that High Heaven Pavilion's popularity in the past few days had made Crown Prince Bai Feng extremely jealous. He took the Black Tiger King and the Eight Extremities King to block the entrance of High Heaven Pavilion. In addition to seeking revenge on Ling Xiao, more importantly, he wanted the treasures in High Heaven Pavilion. You don't dare to fight in the life and death arena? Crown Prince Bai Feng sneered and provoked him with words. It's not about whether I dare or not. I have no problem fighting in the life and death arena. But if I win, I want the string of beads in your hand. Ling Xiao said indifferently. There was a string of crystal beads on Crown Prince Bai Feng's wrist. There were a total of 36 crystal beads. Each of them looked crystal clear and bright. There seemed to be a mysterious liquid flowing in them, and they were enshrouded in a chaotic mist. They were very extraordinary. You want my Dinghai pearls? Sure, if you win, the Dinghai pearls are yours. Bai Feng's eyes showed a trace of ridicule. The Dinghai pearls in his hand were extremely precious. The 36 Dinghai pearls were given to him by his father, the White Dragon King. They were treasures that the White Dragon King obtained from an ancient relic. They could help him cultivate. Otherwise, he would not have become a holy king so quickly. But he did not think that he would lose. The Eight Extremities King's strength was far beyond the imagination of ordinary people. Although the Eight Extremities King ranked third among the demon kings of the 72 caves, the White Dragon King said that the Eight Extremities King's real combat strength was ranked first. He could be said to be the strongest person below the 4 Grand Demon Kings. In that case, let's fight in the life and death arena. Ling Xiao said indifferently. He looked very calm. His gaze fell on the Eight Extremities King. He could feel that the demonic young man in front of him was not simple. The demonic eyes seemed to contain endless time and space. They could drag people into it and make them unable to reincarnate forever. The Eight Extremities King also looked at Ling Xiao. There was a trace of strong fighting spirit in his eyes. Originally, the Eight Extremities King did not take Ling Xiao seriously. But after Ling Xiao sent the Black Tiger King flying with a punch, the Eight Extremities King became interested. Chapter 2638. Ling Xiao, that bastard Bai Feng is not a good person. You should take his life as the stake. The old goat ran out of the High Heaven Pavilion and complained. He was never worried that Ling Xiao would not be able to defeat the Eight-Pole King. He just felt that the stake Ling Xiao asked for was too light. It would be better if Bai Feng paid with his life. The Myriad Demon Conference hasn't started yet. The Myriad Demon fruit is good stuff. Don't you want it? If we kill Bai Feng now, we can only leave the Myriad Demon City. Don't worry, he won't live long. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. That's right. Old goat, you're brainless. The Myriad Demon Fruit is said to be a treasure that can help people break through to the Saint King realm. Don't you want it? By the way, Ling Xiao, what is that string of beads? Daoist Wuliang seized the opportunity to ridicule Old Goat and then asked curiously, what about you? Hee, that string of beads is good stuff. Can't you see it? Ling Xiao chuckled and kept him in suspense. Taoist Wuliang carefully looked at the string of sea-calming beads on Baifeng's wrist. He could not help but tremble when he saw the dense chaotic qi and the mysterious liquid in the beads. Could it be? Ling Xiao nodded and said, if I'm not mistaken, it should be that kind of thing. Ling Xiao, you must take that string of beads. We're rich. This time, we're really rich. Taoist Wuliang was excited. His eyes were like a hungry wolf. It was as if he could not help but want to rush up and take the string of beads. Brother Ling Tian, you have to be careful. The eight-pole king's strength is unfathomable. His innate ability is related to space. The three of us can't resist him at all. The Golden Lion King said worriedly. Don't worry. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Soon, everyone arrived at the Arena of Life and Death. The Arena of Life and Death was located in the central area of the Myriad Demon City. It was not far from the Myriad Demon Ancient Tree. It was an ancient stone platform. It was said that the four great demon kings dug it out from the ancient ruins. It was extremely old and sturdy. The entire life and death arena was covered in a gray and hazy chaotic color. It looked mottled and ancient. There were black chains around it, and it was suffused with an immortal fluctuation. Although from the outside, the life and death arena only had a circumference of 300 meters, the life and death arena contained a formation space that was comparable to a small world. It was enough to accommodate many people in a life and death battle at the same time. The life and death duel between Baifeng and Ling Xiao immediately attracted a lot of people and caused an uproar. High Heaven Pavilion's first elder and Baifeng's crown prince have a life and death gambling match. Has he gone mad? Someone exclaimed, his eyes filled with disbelief. Isn't that so? Prince Baifeng has sent the Eight Extremities King, who is ranked third among the monster kings of the 72 caves. He is proficient in the law of space and is extremely powerful. He is one of the strongest monster kings. That Ling Tian looks like he's only at the eminent saint stage. Isn't he courting death? It's hard to say. Ling Tian's true strength is very powerful. Some people say that Prince Baifeng was thrown out of the Divine Weapon Pavilion by him. Even the Black Tiger King was sent flying by his punch. His physical body is very strong. When Ling Tian attacked, there was a dragon's roar. Maybe he has the blood of the dragon clan in his body. That's why he has such a freakish physical body. No matter what, I still think the Eight Extremities King is going to win. This battle is going to be interesting. Hee, I didn't expect that someone would dare to find trouble with Prince Baifeng. Those who dared to offend Prince Baifeng are all dead. This Ling Tian is really bold. It's a pity that those who are bold die quickly. Many monster clan powerhouses gathered around the life and death arena. Everyone was attracted by the life and death duel between Prince Baifeng and Ling Xiao. There were even a few Demon King experts who had curious looks in their eyes. However, most people did not think Ling Xiao would win. Whoosh! Whoosh! Ling Xiao and the Eight Extremities King leaped into the air and flew into the life and death arena. After entering the arena of life and death, Ling Xiao realized that he was in a gray space. The surroundings were filled with chaotic fog. Only the huge arena under his feet floated in the void, spreading out in all directions. It looked incomparably huge. The Eight Extremities King stood opposite Ling Xiao. The Eight Extremities King was a demonic young man with long purple hair. There seemed to be a mysterious spatial vortex in his eyes that could swallow everything. A strange fluctuation was emitted from his body. Ling Xiao could not see what the Eight Extremities King's true form was. Ling Tian, your physical body is indeed very strong. I didn't expect that even the Black Tiger King could not withstand a punch from you. However, you are not my opponent. If you admit defeat now, I can plead with His Highness and ask him to spare your life. The Eight Extremities King said indifferently. His voice was ethereal and soft, like a woman's voice. Eight Extremities King, right? How about this, if I win this battle, you will become my follower, and I will not kill you. How about that? Ling Xiao said with a faint smile. The Eight Extremities King gave him a very strange feeling, especially the aura of the Eight Extremities King, which gave him a very familiar feeling. Arrogant. Let's talk about it after you defeat me first. The Eight Extremities King's eyes darkened, and he suddenly slapped his palm toward Ling Xiao. Boom! The moment the Eight Extremities King attacked, the demonic aura around him surged. It was as if an ancient demonic emperor had awakened from a deep slumber, emitting an invincible and powerful energy fluctuation. The huge palm print was like an earth-shattering canopy, pressing down on Ling Xiao. Good! Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, and he directly punched out at the Eight Extremities King. Ever since Ling Xiao integrated with the complete good fortune jade disc, he felt his physical body becoming stronger and stronger. As he continued to comprehend the Great Tao, his primordial immortal body seemed to be able to encompass all things, and there was no limit to its improvement. He also liked the feeling of punching flesh. The strength of his physical body was the foundation of his strength. Ling Xiao's comprehension of the Great Tao was different from others. Others borrowed the power of the Great Tao of heaven and earth, or controlled the power of the Great Tao. However, Ling Xiao devoured and integrated the power of the Great Tao. In Ling Xiao's opinion, all external objects were just external objects, and only the strength of one's own body was the foundation of his strength. Even if there were 3,000 Great Taos, they would only belong to him if they were integrated into his body. Therefore, this punch contained the strength of Ling Xiao's powerful physical body, and it contained the Great Tao that could suppress all things. It was majestic and mysterious, like the hand of a great emperor that controlled the life and death of all things. It was extremely powerful. Boom! The Eight Extremities King's palm print collapsed with a loud bang, and Ling Xiao's punch continued to press down on the Eight Extremities King. Eight Extremities King, you are no match for me in terms of physical strength alone. Let me see how strong your innate ability is. Ling Xiao said indifferently. Chapter 2639. As you wish. The Ba Ji King's eyes flickered as he faced Ling Xiao's punch. His feet moved slightly, and a mysterious spatial fluctuation spread out. Beams of dazzling divine light shot out from the surrounding void and shrouded Ling Xiao. Although the Eight-Pole King was still in front of Ling Xiao, he gave Ling Xiao a strange feeling. It was as if the two of them were separated by billions of miles of space. So close, yet worlds apart. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. The Eight-Pole King's attainments in the law of space were indeed very high. Spatial cage. As the incomparably cold voice of the Eight Extremities King sounded, the resplendent rays of light around Ling Xiao seemed to directly separate the void, forming an ancient and mysterious prison that imprisoned Ling Xiao within. The surrounding space seemed to have solidified instantly, spreading towards Ling Xiao's body. The vast law of space surged, turning into a mysterious and powerful force that wanted to imprison Ling Xiao. What a powerful innate ability! Ling Xiao exclaimed. He felt that his movements had become incomparably slow in an instant, as if he could not break free from the confinement of space. He could only be trampled upon. It was no wonder that the Eight-Pole King's spatial cage could imprison the Golden Lion King, the Celestial Wolf King, and the Black Panther King instantly. This innate ability was indeed very abnormal. Spatial Wind Blade. The Eight-Pole King's cold voice resounded. The void around Ling Xiao shattered like a mirror, turning into numerous black wind blades that whizzed towards Ling Xiao to shroud him. This was a wind blade formed by the shattering of space. It was extremely sharp and seemed capable of destroying everything. Even the physical body of a demon king could not withstand the attack of the spatial wind blade. Moreover, the Eight-Pole King had mobilized thousands of spatial wind blades, sweeping over like a storm, as if he wanted to cut Ling Xiao into 1,000 pieces. It had to be said that the Eight-Pole King's attainments in the law of space were extremely high. The innate ability of a demon clan expert contained the law of Great Path. However, if one wanted to comprehend the law of Great Path contained in the innate ability to the extreme, one had to rely on their own efforts and comprehension. The law of space was one of the most powerful laws, and it was extremely difficult to comprehend it. However, The Eight-Pole King could display such powerful spatial wind blades, which showed that his talent and comprehension of the law of space were extremely shocking. There was a hint of admiration in Ling Xiao's eyes. It turned out that the endless island that the old goat described as a remote and desolate place also had someone as talented as the Eight-Pole King. He wasn't completely useless. "You're courting death." A cold glint flashed across the Eight-Pole King's eyes. He hadn't expected Ling Xiao to be so calm, as if he hadn't seen the spatial wind blade at all. The admiration in his eyes made the Eight-Pole King feel insulted. With a thought, the spatial wind blades became even more violent. It was as if there were billions of black blade lights sweeping over, whistling as they tried to cut Ling Xiao into pieces. With the spatial prison and spatial wind blade activated at the same time, Ling Tian will definitely die. Outside the arena of life and death, Crown Prince Bai Feng sneered. The Eight Extremities King is completely enraged. Even my physical body can't withstand this level of spatial wind blade. The Black Tiger King also felt his scalp go numb. Although he was watching the battle from outside the life and death arena, he could still feel the terror of the space wind blade. Is the battle going to end so soon? As expected of the Eight Extremities King. It seems that Ling Xiao is going to die. Someone exclaimed in surprise. The same thought appeared in everyone's mind. They felt that this battle was going to end soon. On the High Heaven Pavilion side, except for the old goat and Taoist Wuyang, who looked calm, the Golden Lion King, Black Bear Spirit, and the others all looked extremely worried and anxious. Why isn't Ling Xiao fighting back? Could it be that the powerful spatial wind blade has made him accept his fate? Rumble. The vast spatial wind blade instantly enveloped Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's expression was extremely calm. There seemed to be purple light flowing around his body, giving him an immortal fluctuation. Clang! 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 The sound of metal hitting stone rang out. Sparks flew everywhere. The powerful spatial wind blade slashed Ling Xiao's body, bursting into bright sparks. The purple divine light around Ling Xiao's body rose, blocking all the spatial wind blades outside. His body didn't suffer any damage. What? This is impossible. The Eight Extremities King's body trembled. His eyes were filled with disbelief. His spatial wind blade was extremely powerful. Even demon kings would die if they touched it. He had once skinned a demon king expert with a powerful physical body with his spatial wind blade. No demon king dared to resist his spatial wind blade with their physical body. But Ling Xiao did it. Not only did Ling Xiao resist the spatial wind blade, but he was also unscathed. His physical body was extremely strong, as if it was indestructible. The spatial wind blade couldn't hurt him at all. Rumble. Ling Xiao's body trembled, and in an instant, a vast amount of qi and blood rose up. The dragon's roar shook the void all around him. The qi and blood around him surged like a vast river, containing an extremely violent energy fluctuation. The spatial prison that imprisoned Ling Xiao actually trembled violently, and then suddenly collapsed with a loud bang. Eight Extremities King, is this your innate divine power? Unfortunately, it's still too weak. Ling Xiao said indifferently. The surrounding void shattered inch by inch. He walked towards the Eight Extremities King step by step. His body was surrounded by a vast purple qi. A blood-red light rose. His eyes were extremely bright. He was like a supreme emperor who was patrolling the heavens. He exuded an invincible aura. Ling Tian, you forced me to do this. The Eight Extremities King's eyes were covered with a layer of blood-red light. He became a little crazy. Boom! His aura spread out, and his purplish gold aura rose in an instant, turning into mysterious runes in the void. They became dazzling, as if they were communicating with the great path of heaven and earth and the endless power of space. His aura became more and more terrifying. Spatial annihilation. As the Eight-Pole King roared, the surrounding space seemed to shatter with a loud bang. A terrifying aura surged. In an instant, it surged and whistled. It formed a vast spatial wave that swept towards Ling Xiao. In the arena of life and death, this mysterious space seemed to have been annihilated. All things in the world, all living things, would be turned into nothingness under the power of this spatial annihilation. This power caused the expressions of all the demon kings outside the arena of life and death to change drastically. Deep fear filled their eyes. This was a power that could kill them in an instant. No one had thought that the 8 Extremities King's innate divine power would have such a terrifying killing move. This time, would Ling Tian be able to survive the annihilation of space? Chapter 2640. Ling Xiao could feel that the law of space around him was extremely violent. A force that could destroy everything erupted like a storm and completely enveloped him. The Ba Ji King's talent in space was beyond Ling Xiao's imagination. He had reached an extremely powerful realm. Even a Saint King would be annihilated along with the annihilation of space by this force. The law of space. Ling Xiao muttered to himself. His heart suddenly bloomed with dazzling light. The good fortune jade disc flowed with mysterious waves and turned into a gorgeous vortex that seemed to be able to devour everything. The annihilation of space around him and the vast law of space were all devoured by the good fortune jade disc and turned into the comprehension of the law of space that surged into Ling Xiao's body. In an instant, Ling Xiao's comprehension of the law of space began to improve by leaps and bounds. Rumble. The terrifying annihilation of space enveloped Ling Xiao's body, causing his flesh and blood to become blurry. He was dripping with blood and looked extremely terrifying. However, his eyes were incomparably bright as the stars. The good fortune jade disc can actually devour the law of space that others have comprehended and use it for my own use? This is too heaven-defying. Ling Xiao thought to himself. It was as if a storm had set off in his heart. He did not care about the blood all over his body. Although the annihilation of space was strong and his flesh and blood could not withstand it, it could not destroy his imperishable bones. It only caused a flesh wound. With Ling Xiao's endless life origin, this level of injury could be completely healed in the blink of an eye. Ling Xiao's mind was completely immersed in the comprehension of the law of space. With the annihilation of space, the Ba Ji King's comprehension of the law of space was completely exposed to Ling Xiao. It was then stolen by the good fortune jade disc and became a part of Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao could clearly feel that the law of space was like a root on his Saint Path origin route. It was rooted in the endless void and absorbed the power of space. The surrounding space also became incomparably intimate. If Ling Xiao tore the void and used the great void shift, it would be much easier than before. Even his teleportation technique had improved by leaps and bounds. This was especially true for space-time's secret techniques, which contained the origins of time and space. Previously, because Ling Xiao had obtained the time of time, he had a very deep understanding of the law of time. However, his progress in the law of space was very slow. Now, his comprehension of the law of space had also skyrocketed. What? The 8-Pole King shuddered, his face filled with disbelief. When he used the power of spatial annihilation, it was actually a huge burden on his body. It caused his vitality to be greatly damaged, and he had used up more than half of his strength. However, Ling Xiao was actually still alive. He could see that although Ling Xiao's body was covered in blood and flesh, he was not injured to the core. It was only a superficial wound. Most importantly, the 8-Pole King actually felt an extremely powerful spatial fluctuation from Ling Xiao's body. That was the power of the Space Grand Tao Law. How is this possible? The 8-Pole King's eyes were filled with fear, and he no longer had his previous calmness and composure. He realized that Ling Xiao's spatial laws were becoming stronger and stronger. It was as if they had suddenly increased in power. He couldn't accept this. This was the powerful strength he was so proud of. How could Ling Xiao comprehend it in an instant? Ling Xiao slowly opened his eyes, and there seemed to be endless spatial fluctuations in his eyes. They looked ethereal and mysterious, as if they could destroy everything. 8-Pole King, you are indeed very strong. Your talent in the Space Grand Dao Law is the best I have ever seen in my life. If you can take a punch from me, I won't kill you, how about it? Ling Xiao said with a faint smile, a hint of appreciation in his eyes. A punch? Ha ha ha. Arrogant. I want to see how strong your punch is. The Eight-Pole King laughed in anger. Ling Xiao's appreciative gaze was extremely dazzling to the Eight-Pole King. This kind of contempt and appreciation for the weak made him feel greatly humiliated. Eight-Pole King, your talent is very strong, but unfortunately, your vision is too narrow. A frog at the bottom of a well, no matter how strong you are, you can't see the whole world. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and shook his head. The Eight-Pole King was a monster beast. Being able to cultivate to the Saint King realm in the Endless Islands without any inheritance was not enough to make Ling Xiao sigh in admiration. However, he had such attainments in the Space Grand Dao Law, almost reaching the realm of great accomplishment, which made Ling Xiao quite amazed. With the Eight-Pole King's talent, if he was born in the demon realm, he might have touched the origin of the Space Grand Dao and broken through to the Imperial Emperor realm by now. A frog at the bottom of a well. The Eight-Pole King's eyes were covered with a layer of blood red, and his gaze became a little crazy. Hong Long. Monster chi rose around him, and an incomparably violent aura erupted. Terrifying killing intent locked onto Ling Xiao, as if he would launch a killing blow at Ling Xiao at any time. Ling Xiao's words had thoroughly enraged him. Time is supreme, space is king. Time and space have never existed independently. Take a punch from me, space-time double kill. Ling Xiao smiled faintly, and then blasted a punch at the Eight-Pole King. Ethereal time rose from Ling Xiao's body, as if 10,000 years had passed in an instant. At the same time, the space around him changed, as if there were scenes of endless worlds being born and destroyed. Time and space seemed to have formed a perfect balance on Ling Xiao's body. This was the punch evolved from the space-time secret technique after Ling Xiao integrated the Space Grand Dao Law devoured by the Good Fortune Jade Disc. The fusion of the time and space Grand Dao was the space-time double kill. Ling Xiao's punch was like two divine dragons intertwining, stirring up the wind and clouds in all directions, causing the world to change, and the sun and moon to dim. Time seemed to have stopped at this moment. The Eight-Pole King in front of him felt as if he had been stripped out of this world. The space around him was annihilated, and time had disappeared, leaving only eternal loneliness and death. This was the great Nirvana fist technique, the power of time and space. Space-time double kill, space-time double kill. The power of time and space is actually so strong. The Eight-Pole King trembled all over, and his eyes revealed a look of horror and excitement. Hong Long. Terrifying demonic light rose around him, and the purple gold chi and blood seemed to be burning. An incomparably terrifying force erupted from his body, turning into a shocking blow that charged toward Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's punch gave him some hope, but it also made him feel the threat of death. The Eight-Pole King did not hesitate to burn the essence and blood in his body to unleash this powerful blow, just to block the space-time double kill. Chapter 2641. Crack. The void shattered like a mirror, and a terrifying divine light swept out in all directions like a huge wave, bursting out with the most dazzling brilliance. Everyone outside the arena of life and death could feel the arena of life and death trembling violently, and the layers of void seemed as if they would completely collapse at any time. What a powerful force! How can this Ling Tian be so strong? Not only was the Ba Ji King's space annihilation unable to kill him, but he actually turned the tables. Someone exclaimed, and his eyes were filled with incomparable shock. The conversation between Ling Xiao and the Ba Ji King was blocked by Ling Xiao, and no one knew what they were talking about. However, Ling Xiao's space-time double kill made them feel a surging killing intent rushing towards them. The Ba Ji King's strongest attack was actually unable to withstand a single blow from Ling Xiao's space-time double kill. It shattered, and with the spread of time and space, it returned to nothingness. Puff! The Ba Ji King's flesh and blood seemed to have completely exploded, and endless blood spurted out as he endured an unimaginable pressure. The Ba Ji King's eyes were filled with excitement, regret, and despair. He was excited because he saw the supreme force that erupted from the fusion of time and space, and saw a new direction and path. He was regretful and desperate because he no longer had a chance. He had no way to resist this space-time double kill. Bang! The surging space-time energy that contained endless killing intent spread out, and Ling Xiao's fist stopped at the Ba Ji King's forehead. It did not directly kill the Ba Ji King as expected. "You've lost," Ling Xiao said indifferently, and there seemed to be a gentle wind on his fist that brushed past the Ba Ji King's face. Ling Xiao withdrew his fist, and that majestic pressure that was like a tsunami instantly disappeared without a trace. "I've lost. Why didn't you kill me?" The Ba Ji King's eyes revealed an incomparably complicated look. "There's no reason. I just feel that it's a pity for someone like you, who has such great talent in the law of space, to die like this. Let me give you a piece of advice. Bai Feng and the White Dragon King are just two idiots. Following them will only bring about your own destruction." Ling Xiao smiled indifferently, then turned and left the arena of life and death. Outside the arena of life and death, everyone's faces were filled with awe. Even the Eight Extremities King had been defeated by Ling Xiao. Who else could be a match for Ling Xiao? For great demon monarchs? As far as everyone was concerned, the four greater demon kings would definitely be able to suppress Ling Xiao. However, Ling Xiao's cultivation was only at the eminent saint realm. If the four greater demon kings were to personally make a move against him, then it would truly be too shameless. On the other hand, Crown Prince Bai Feng's expression became extremely ugly, as if his parents had died. His eyes were filled with disbelief. "Damn it! How can he be so strong?" Crown Prince Bai Feng said through gritted teeth. His handsome face was distorted. "Ha ha ha! I knew it! How could these ignorant bumpkins possibly be Ling Xiao's match? However, why would Ling Xiao spare the Ba Ji Wang? I think we should kill this bastard to intimidate everyone." The old goat laughed loudly. His eyes were filled with pride, but at the same time, he was somewhat dissatisfied. The Eight Extremities King and the Black Tiger King had previously captured the Golden Lion King, the Heavenly Wolf King, and the Black Panther King alive. Moreover, they had also blocked the High Heaven Pavilion's entrance for so long. This caused the old goat's heart to be filled with resentment. "I think this brat is up to no good. Who knows, he might be planning something bad." Daoist Wuliang said suspiciously as he looked at Ling Xiao, who had just walked out of the death arena. Brother Ling Tian really defeated the Eight Extremities King? The Golden Lion King and his two brothers' mouths were agape. They were both shocked and overjoyed. It was as though they were in a dream. Although they had long known that Ling Xiao's strength was unparalleled, it seemed like they had still underestimated Ling Xiao's true battle prowess. Outside the arena of life and death, the crowd watched as Ling Xiao walked out of the arena of life and death. It was as if he was the center of the world, exuding an invincible and peerless aura. Everyone was silent, and their eyes were filled with respect. The demon clan's respected powerhouses the most. Ling Xiao had used his strength to win everyone's respect. "Crown Prince Bai Feng, it seems like I've won this bet. I believe you won't go back on your word, right?" Ling Xiao walked up to Bai Feng and smiled calmly. His smile was clear and bright. At this moment, he looked like an incomparably bright young man. He no longer had that invincible and overbearing appearance from before. However, no one dared to look down on him. Even Crown Prince Bai Feng's heart couldn't help but tremble. He couldn't help but feel a sense of fear, which made him extremely angry. "I, Crown Prince Bai Feng, am naturally a man of my word. From today onwards, our enmity is written off." Crown Prince Bai Feng gritted his teeth as he spoke. His eyes were spitting fire. He turned around and wanted to leave. There was no way he could stay any longer. The strange gazes from the surrounding people were filled with mockery. It made him feel extremely humiliated. He swore in his heart that he would definitely take revenge. Crown Prince Bai Feng, did you forget to leave something behind? Ling Xiao stopped Crown Prince Bai Feng, who was about to leave, and smiled calmly. Ling Xiao's expression became even more unsightly when his gaze landed on Crown Prince Bai Feng's wrist. Damn it! He actually forgot about this gamble battle. He was even provoked by Ling Xiao to take out the Dinghai Pearl as a wager. These 36 Dinghai Pearls were great treasures. His heart bled at the thought of them falling into Ling Xiao's hands. Here you go. Crown Prince Bai Feng said through gritted teeth. He took off the string of Dinghai pearls on his wrist and threw it directly to Ling Xiao. Then, he walked away quickly without looking back. He was about to go crazy from anger. Not only did Ling Xiao not suffer any losses in this gamble battle, but he also lost a lot of face. He even lost the Dinghai pearls, which allowed Ling Xiao to be in the limelight. Crown Prince Bai Feng could only tell himself that he would leave the Dinghai pearls with Ling Xiao for now. Sooner or later, he would make Ling Xiao return it with interest. Thank you, Crown Prince Bai Feng. Crown Prince Bai Feng, come often. Ling Xiao's voice rang out behind Crown Prince Bai Feng. Instantly, the crowd roared with laughter again. Come often for what? Was he really going to give Ling Xiao treasures? Counting carefully, the lawless Crown Prince Bai Feng had already suffered twice in Ling Xiao's hands. I must kill him. I must kill him. Crown Prince Bai Feng's face was distorted as he roared in his heart. His fingernails dug deep into his palms, leaving streaks of fresh blood. Your Highness, where are we going now? The Black Tiger King laughed bitterly. He glanced at the silent Eight-Pole King and felt a little relieved. Fortunately, Crown Prince Bai Feng did not ask him to gamble with Ling Xiao. Otherwise, he was afraid that he would lose even more miserably. That guy's cultivation was only at the Great Sage realm. How could he have such abnormal combat strength? Let's go find my father. This time, I want all of them to die. Crown Prince Bai Feng roared. His eyes were filled with blood-red murderous intent. He headed directly to the deepest part of Demon City, to the White Dragon King's residence. Please remember the domain name of this book. Mobile reading website. Chapter 2642. The battle in the arena of life and death soon spread throughout the Demon City. The High Heaven Pavilion became even more popular. Many Demon Clan experts knew that the first elder of the High Heaven Pavilion was not only an alchemy grandmaster, but also an expert with unfathomable strength. Even the Eight Extremities King was defeated by him. Therefore, even the Demon Kings became interested in the High Heaven Pavilion. After seeing the treasures in the High Heaven Pavilion, they did not hesitate to exchange their treasures for weapons or elixirs produced by the High Heaven Pavilion. No one dared to have any ideas about the High Heaven Pavilion anymore. In the past few days, as the riots of the 10,000 Demons' ancient tree became more frequent, the origin energy in the Demon City became more and more intense. Everyone sensed that the 10,000 Demons' fruit was about to ripen. The Demon Conference was about to begin. In the High Heaven Pavilion, Ling Xiao, the old goat, and Taoist Wuliang looked at the sea-calming pearls in front of them. Their eyes were filled with excitement. I didn't expect that Bai Feng would have the first Yuan heavy water in his hands. He really doesn't know that he has a mountain of treasures. In the end, it all benefited us. Taoist Wuliang's eyes were filled with excitement. The 36 sea-calming pearls were as clear as crystals. There was a chaotic mist and a strange liquid flowing in it. It was very mysterious. Taoist Wuliang was finally sure that the liquid in the 36 sea-calming pearls was the legendary first Yuan heavy water. Legend has it that the first Yuan heavy water is the essence of all water. A drop of first Yuan heavy water is hundreds of millions of caddies heavy, comparable to an immemorial sacred mountain. It's also a necessary supreme treasure to refine an supreme emperor weapon. I don't know where Bai Feng got it. Ling Xiao sighed softly. His eyes were also filled with excitement. He agreed to the bet with Bai Feng mainly because of the sea-calming pearl on Bai Feng's wrist. The sea-calming pearl contained the first yuan heavy water. After Ling Xiao obtained the good fortune jade disc, his affinity with the 3,000 great Daos had greatly improved. He had also become extremely sensitive to all kinds of heavenly treasures. The first yuan heavy water in the Dinghai pearl was the essence of all khanate water. It was a khanate supreme treasure from the beginning of the chaos and was extremely precious. Ling Xiao had never imagined that someone would actually seal the first yuan heavy water into the Dinghai pearl. Furthermore, there were a total of 36 drops of first yuan heavy water. Not only can this first yuan heavy water be used to refine Apex Emperor weapons for us, we can also sell it for a sky-high price when we bring it back to the demon realm. The old goat chuckled, looking like a money grubber. This string of Dinghai pearls is also a supreme treasure, comparable to a supreme-grade sacred treasure. It is compatible with the Tao of heaven and earth and can make it easier for one to comprehend the power of Tao, especially the innate water Tao. The reason why Bai Feng could become a divine king so quickly must be because of this string of Dinghai pearls. Taoist Wu Yang guessed. That's right. Fortunately, this was the Endless Island, a desolate area, a forgotten world. If it was in the demon realm, I'm afraid even monarchs would be tempted by this first yuan heavy water and directly snatch it. Ling Xiao nodded and said. No matter what, this time we came to the demon city, we have a great harvest. We have obtained the dragon vein gold, the immortal sky crystal sand, and the first yuan heavy water, these 3 supreme treasures. It doesn't matter even if we can't get the million demons fruit. Taoist Wu Yang chuckled. I can feel that the life force of the million demons ancient tree is extremely strong. I'm afraid the million demons fruit will ripen in 2 days. No matter what, we still have to see what's so special about this legendary myriad's demonic fruit. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as if they could pierce through the void and reach the towering tree in the deepest part of the demon city. Aren't you afraid that the White Dragon King will find trouble with you? He is a genuine heavenly master expert. I'm sure that Bai Feng has suffered a lot in your hands. This time, he must have gone to the White Dragon King. The reason why the White Dragon King has not made a move is that he is held back by the million demons ancient tree. When he splits out, I'm afraid he will not let it go. Taoist Wu Yang laughed. The White Dragon King. Even if he doesn't come to me, I will go to him. There are hundreds of Demon King experts on this endless island. What do you think will happen if I subdue all of them and kill my way back to the divine realm? Ling Xiao smiled indifferently. There seemed to be a flame of ambition burning in his eyes. Subdue hundreds of demon kings? You are really daring. Taoist Wu Yang laughed bitterly. The legendary 4 grand demon kings were not easy to deal with. Let's give it a try. Who knows if we don't try? Ling Xiao said noncommittally. Ling Xiao is right. Although these country bumpkins look weak, their bloodlines are very strong, especially those demon clan experts who have cultivated to the Great Sage realm or even the Saint King realm. They all have ancient bloodlines. As long as they obtain a powerful inheritance, they will immediately have powerful combat strength. Now is the best time to subdue these country bumpkins. As the saying goes, if you don't take what is given to you, you will be punished. Although this idea is crazy, I like it. I'll do it. The old goat chuckled as a crazy look surged in his eyes. Since the 2 of you have said so, what else can I do? As your brother, I can only go crazy with you. Taoist Wu Yang laughed bitterly. Ling Xiao, the old goat, and Taoist Wu Yang looked at each other and laughed. They were very happy. The 10,000 demons ancient tree was becoming more and more violent. Even the dullest people in Demon City could feel it. Especially in the deepest part of Demon City, there were 4 dazzling lights that shrouded the 10,000 demons ancient tree. Those were 4 unfathomable auras. They were working together to suppress the 10,000 demons ancient tree, preventing it from escaping Demon City. The 10,000 demons fruits on the 10,000 demons ancient tree had also appeared. 36 10,000 demons' fruits, like 36 dazzling suns, hung on the 10,000 demons' ancient tree and exuded a strange fragrance. The origin energy in the entire demon city was getting thicker and thicker. It was like a mist that filled the air, making everyone in Demon City feel comfortable. It was as if they had become more intimate with the Great Tao Order. Everyone was waiting for the start of the Demon Conference. The countless weapons and elixirs in the High Heaven Pavilion attracted the attention of many experts. An endless stream of heavenly treasures entered the High Heaven Pavilion. Ling Xiao and Taoist Wu Yang were very relaxed. They only needed to refine some lower-grade sacred treasures and elixirs every day, and those crazy experts of the demon clan would snatch them up. A large number of heavenly treasures entered the High Heaven Pavilion. The old goat was grinning from ear to ear. Those heavenly treasures included all kinds of strange ores, metals, precious origin energy, sacred herbs, spiritual fruits, and so on. Their value was immeasurable. Those were the treasures that had been nurtured on the Endless Island for hundreds of millions of years. They were originally the demon kings of the 72 caves and the various demon saints. Now that the demon conference was about to begin, they were crazily exchanging all kinds of weapons and elixirs. Almost all the experts of the demon clan went crazy for the 10,000 demons' fruit. Chapter 2643. Rumble. At the center of Demon City, the 10,000 demons' ancient tree suddenly emitted a blazing divine light. It shot up into the sky like a heavenly pillar, instantly dispersing the clouds in the sky and connecting with the heavens and earth. The mysterious light was dense, and the mist was ethereal. It was as if an ancient and mysterious world had been formed. Powerful ferocious beasts roared in the sky. True dragons traversed the void, phoenixes burned the earth. Countless powerful divine beasts were fighting fiercely, making people feel as if they had come to an ancient desolate world. 36 bright suns floated above the 10,000 demons' ancient tree. In an instant, they bloomed with endless light, covering the real sun in the sky. A strange fragrance permeated the air, enveloping the entire demon city. Everyone felt extremely comfortable, and their eyes were filled with intoxication. The 10,000 demons' fruit had ripened. Everyone had the same thought in their minds, and their eyes were filled with excitement. Swoosh! 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 One by one, powerful figures took to the sky and headed toward the central area of the demon city, where the 10,000 demons' ancient tree was located. The area around the 10,000 demons' ancient tree was originally a forbidden area, but it was sealed off by the 4 grand demon kings with a powerful barrier. At this moment, because the 10,000 demons' fruit had ripened, the forbidden area was lifted. Everyone was extremely excited and came to this legendary area. The 10,000 demons' fruit has finally ripened. Inside High Heaven Pavilion, Ling Xiao, the old goat, Long Outyen, and the 3 Golden Lion King brothers all had shocked expressions on their faces. The 10,000 demons' fruit has ripened, and the demon conference is about to begin. Legend has it that after the 10,000 demons' fruit ripened, the 10,000 demons' ancient tree will form a strange small world, and the demon conference will be held in that small world. Let's go. The Golden Lion King's eyes flashed, revealing a dazzling light. Let's go. Ling Xiao, the old goat, and Taoist Wu Yang looked at each other. Without any hesitation, they leaped up and left the Ling Xiao pavilion, flying towards the 10,000 demons' ancient tree. The entire demon city was in an uproar. Numerous powerful figures covered the sky and the earth. They were incomparably excited and wanted to participate in this grand event. The myriad demon meet was only held once every million years. Although there were only 36 10,000 fiend fruits and the competition was extremely intense, those who participated in the myriad fiend meet would still benefit greatly even if they could not obtain the 10,000 fiend fruit. Many demon clan experts who were stuck at a bottleneck, and even some who were about to die, rushed toward the 10,000 demons' ancient tree. Even though the 4 grand demon kings had set the rule that only those whose cultivation had reached the sage stage were qualified to participate in the myriad demon meet, the grand demon kings were not qualified to participate. However, when Ling Xiao took a closer look, he realized that there were more than tens of thousands of demon race experts participating in the 1,000 demon meet. Perhaps all the demonic saints on the Endless Island had come. This was the true myriad demon meet. Ling Xiao and the others soon arrived at the core area of the demon city. Is this the 10,000 Fiends ancient tree? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he felt a desolate, ancient, and vast aura rush towards him. The 10,000 Fiends ancient tree was rooted in the ground, and its trunk was like a heavenly pillar. It was extremely thick, and its bark was mottled and ancient. At that moment, it was emitting a sparkling light and contained a majestic aura of life. The branches and leaves of the 10,000 Fiends ancient tree were extremely dense, and its towering canopy covered the sky and the sun. It pierced into the depths of the firmament, making one feel small and insignificant. Ling Xiao could vaguely see a blazing divine light rising above the 10,000 Fiends ancient tree. It vaguely seemed to form a mysterious space vortex that led to a mysterious small world. The 36 10,000 fiend fruits on the 10,000 fiend ancient tree were sparkling and translucent. They were as dazzling as the sun, and they emitted a rich fragrance. The surrounding demon clan experts all looked extremely intoxicated. Rumble. At that moment, four extremely terrifying auras appeared above the 10,000 fiends ancient tree. They emitted waves that caused the heavens and earth to tremble. They were unfathomable, as though they were heavenly sovereigns who controlled the life and death of all living beings. Everyone could not help but raise their heads. "It's, the 4 grand demon kings have arrived," someone exclaimed. His eyes were filled with awe. 4 mysterious figures floated above the 10,000 fiends ancient tree. There were 3 men and 1 woman. They were the 4 grand demon kings who controlled the Endless Island. They were also 4 heavenly sovereign experts. They were King Pine Cypress, King Peony, King Willow, and King White Dragon. King Pine Cypress was an old man with a ruddy complexion and white hair. He held a pine cane in his hand. His body was hunched, and there was a faint smile on his face. He looked very easygoing, but his eyes emitted an ancient and wise light. King Peony was a very beautiful woman in a palace dress. Her skin was as white as jade, and her black hair was like a waterfall. Her face looked flawless, and her body was curvy. There was not a single flaw on her body. She exuded a myriad of charm and had a peerless temperament. On the other hand, Lord Lu was a very handsome young man. He had an extraordinary temperament, like an emperor descending to the mortal world. His perfect and beautiful face would make any woman jealous. The last one was King White Dragon. He was a tall old man with white hair and beard. He looked majestic and domineering. He exuded a powerful dragon aura. His every move had the majesty of a king. The divine light in his eyes was so bright that no one dared to look at him directly. "Greetings, King Pine Cypress. Greetings, King Peony. Greetings, King Willow. Greetings, King White Dragon." After the 4 grand demon kings appeared, the demon experts around the 10,000 fiends ancient tree bowed in unison. Their voices shook the void like thunder, and their eyes were filled with fanaticism and awe. The 4 grand demon kings were the uncrowned kings of the Endless Island. They were the absolute masters. No one dared to challenge the majesty of the grand demon kings, not even the demon kings of the 72 caves. "Everyone, there's no need to be so polite." King Pine Cypress smiled faintly. His voice was old and gentle, making people feel comfortable as if a spring breeze was caressing their faces. King Pine Cypress was said to be the oldest of the 4 grand demon kings. He was already a grand demon king before the other 3 had broken through to the demon king realm. His cultivation was unfathomable, and no one knew how strong he was. Therefore, if the 4 grand demon kings were to be ranked, King Pine Cypress would undoubtedly be ranked first. Even the unruly White Dragon King had no choice but to concede. "I'm sure everyone already knows. The Myriad Fiends fruit has ripened, and the Myriad Fiends conference has officially begun. The Myriad Fiends fruit looks like it's on the 10,000 Fiends ancient tree, but in fact, it flew into the Myriad Fiends' realm the moment it ripened. The Myriad Fiends' realm will be open for 3 days. Everyone will enter the Myriad Fiends' realm and rely on their own ability and luck to find the 36 Myriad Fiends' fruits. After 3 days, the Myriad Fiends' realm will be closed, and everyone will have to leave the Myriad Fiends' realm. There are other treasures in the Myriad Fiends' realm other than the Myriad Fiends' fruit. Whether you can get them or not depends on your luck. King Pine Cypress smiled faintly and explained the rules of the Myriad Fiends Conference. Chapter 2644. In fact, the Myriad Demons Conference was a grand event to enter the Myriad Demons realm to fight for the Myriad Demons fruit. It was also a great opportunity for all the experts of the Demon Clan. Most of the experts of the Demon Clan knew about these rules in advance. Is the Myriad Demons realm really a small world created by the Myriad Demons ancient tree? If the Myriad Demons ancient tree can create a small world, does that mean it can transform as well? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he said slowly. Although he had heard about the Myriad Demons realm from the Golden Lion King and the others, he was still a little confused when he saw the mysterious small world in front of him. Isn't that so? I heard that the 10,000 Fey ancient tree could have transformed long ago. It's just that the 4 great Fey monarchs have been preventing it from transforming. Therefore, every time the 10,000 Fey fruit ripens, the 4 great Fey monarchs would join forces to suppress the 10,000 Fey ancient tree. In fact, it's also to prevent the Myriad Demons ancient tree from transforming. The Golden Lion King whispered to Ling Xiao. Prevent the Myriad Demons ancient tree from transforming? Just to let the Myriad Demons ancient tree bear these 36 Myriad Demons fruits after 1,000,000 years? The Myriad Demons fruits should be useless to the 4 Grand Monster Kings, right? What's their purpose in doing so? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. I don't know. These are just rumors, who knows what the actual situation is? Perhaps the 4 great demon monarchs are really seeking opportunities for all of us. The Golden Lion King's eyes flashed as he said slowly. Maybe. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. He felt that there was something fishy going on. Whoosh! 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 As soon as King Pine and Bai finished speaking, the 4 Grand Monster Kings directly opened the void passage to the Myriad Demons realm. Suddenly, many experts of the Demon Clan could not help but jump up and fly into the Myriad Demons realm. The terrifying aura of tens of thousands of demon overlords was enough to shatter the heavens and the earth. It was like a mighty torrent that flew into the Myriad Demons realm. Everyone was scrambling to be the first to enter the 10,000 demon realm. After all, there were only 36 10,000 demonic fruits. With so many people wanting to obtain the 10,000 demonic fruits, the competition would be extremely intense. Moreover, it was inevitable that there would be large-scale casualties. Not only could the 10,000 demons fruit allow great sage experts to become Saint Kings, it was also quite useful for Saint Kings. Therefore, those demon kings also wanted to obtain the 10,000 demons fruit. Although Ling Xiao had doubts in his heart, he did not intend to be in the limelight. He still followed the crowd and flew towards the demon realm. Ling Xiao frowned as he felt a cold gaze filled with killing intent land on him. Ling Xiao turned around and realized that the owner of that gaze was actually the White Dragon King. The White Dragon King's expression was indifferent. He looked deeply at Ling Xiao, his eyes filled with undisguised killing intent. However, for some reason, he held back and did not attack. White Dragon King. Interesting. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. His gaze was extremely calm, without the slightest hint of fear. When his gaze collided with the White Dragon King's, it seemed as though sparks were flying. But soon, Ling Xiao entered the 10,000 demon realm and disappeared without a trace. White Dragon King, that kid just now killed your brother, defeated the Ba Ji King, and made your son suffer. He's only in the Great Sage realm, but he has such combat strength. No wonder he's from the continent of the demon realm. Willow Monarch's eyes revealed a hint of curiosity as he smiled faintly. So what if he's from the continent of the demon realm? He's just an ant, I can kill him with a flip of my hand. But the most important thing now is the demon treasure. The demon realm will only be open for 3 days. This time, I must enter the demon treasure and become the true lord of demons. The White Dragon King snorted coldly, his eyes filled with sharpness. Lord of demons? Just you? The Peony Monarch sneered with a hint of mockery in her eyes. What? Peony Monarch, are you not convinced? When I become the Lord of Demons, you will be the Demon Queen. The White Dragon King said arrogantly. White Dragon King, if I become the Lord of Demons, I will kill you first. The Peony Monarch did not hide the murderous intent in her eyes. Both of you, stop fighting. Didn't we painstakingly seal the 10,000 demons' ancient tree for the demon treasure? Whether we can enter the demon treasure and become the Lord of Demons or not, we will rely on our own abilities. Don't hurt our friendship. King Pine Cypress persuaded with a look of a good old man. That's right. Let's rely on our own abilities, but only I can become the Lord of Demons. The White Dragon King sneered. Suddenly, he took a step forward and disappeared into the void. Arrogant. The Peony Monarch's face was livid, and her eyes were filled with anger. Cough cough, Peony Monarch. Why don't we work together and kill the White Dragon King first? Willow Monarch coughed softly and smiled. Willow Monarch, if the White Dragon King is a villain, then you are a hypocrite. If I work with you, I'm really afraid that you will betray me one day. The Peony Monarch sneered. Then, without even looking at King Pine Cypress and Willow Monarch, she also disappeared into the void with a flash of light. Senior King Pine Cypress, why don't we work together? Willow Monarch's eyes turned, and he smiled at King Pine Cypress. Forget about it. My old bones still want to live for a few more years. Willow King, you'd better stop trying to be naughty. Otherwise, if it's like last time where no one can enter the 10,000 demons' secret treasure, the Peony King and the White Dragon King will definitely come after you. King Pine Cypress laughed bitterly, then shook his head and disappeared into the void. TSK. You don't want to work with me, and you still want to enter the demon treasure? But the little guy in the demon realm continent looks good. Maybe I can work with him. Willow Monarch said to himself, and a sly smile appeared on his perfect face. He took a step forward and also disappeared into the void. Is this the demon realm? Ling Xiao looked at the endless mountain range in front of him. It was ancient and mysterious, and he said helplessly. He did not know if it was to prevent many demon clan experts from killing each other, but the void passage of the demon realm was also randomly teleported. After Ling Xiao entered the passage, he quickly found that the old goat and Taoist Wuliang had disappeared, and he was the only one who appeared here. That mountain is so tall. That's not right. That's not a mountain, that's the demon ancient tree. Ling Xiao suddenly exclaimed in surprise. He saw that in the center of the distant world, there was an ancient mountain. It was millions of feet tall, connected the heavens and the earth, and exuded a majestic and ancient aura. He had some doubts at first, but he soon saw clearly that it was not a mountain, but a towering ancient tree. It seemed to be holding up this world, exuding a majestic and vast aura. There was actually a demon ancient tree in the demon realm? Chapter 2645. The gigantic 10,000 Fei ancient tree sat in the middle of the world, exuding a vast and terrifying aura. It was hundreds of millions of miles tall, as if it was connected to the heavens and the earth. It was like the world tree from ancient times, causing everyone's heart to tremble. This 10,000 Fei ancient tree was thousands of times bigger than the one outside the 10,000 Fei ancient tree. Could it be, this is the true body of the 10,000 Fei ancient tree? Ling Xiao was shocked. Rumble. At this moment, the 36 sun-like 10,000 Fei fruits hanging on the 10,000 Fei ancient tree trembled violently. They then turned into streams of light and fell off the 10,000 Fei ancient tree, flying in all directions. The 10,000 Fei fruit shone brightly, and its fragrance spread, causing the world to seem to be filled with a layer of mysterious energy. Swoosh! 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 At the same time, Ling Xiao also noticed that there were dozens of figures in the vast mountain range around him, flying rapidly in the direction where the 10,000 fey fruits had disappeared. It turned out that those demon saints and demon kings had hidden themselves after entering the 10,000 fey realm, waiting for an opportunity to seize the opportunity. I'd like to see what secrets this 10,000 fey ancient tree has. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, and in an instant, he leaped up and flew in the direction of the 10,000 fey ancient tree. The 10,000 fey fruit seemed to have a mind of its own. After leaving the 10,000 fey ancient tree, it shot in all directions, and soon all its aura disappeared completely. It was not easy to find the 10,000 fey fruit. Ling Xiao was not very interested in the 10,000 fey fruit. With his current cultivation, he did not need to rely on external forces to break through to the Saint King realm. He only needed to wait for his holy path source route to comprehend the 3,000 great paths, and he could naturally break through to the Saint King realm. Although the 10,000 fey fruit was good, it was only a top-grade sacred medicine. Ling Xiao always felt that the 10,000 fey ancient tree seemed to be hiding some secrets, so he planned to go to the central area to see the huge 10,000 fey ancient tree. Rumble. Ling Xiao flew towards the 10,000 fey ancient tree, and along the way, he saw many demon saints fighting fiercely. The 10,000 demon realm had been sealed for millions of years. During these millions of years, the 10,000 demon realm had nurtured countless treasures of heaven and earth. All kinds of origin sacred herbs were irresistible to those demon overlords. However, there were tens of thousands of demon overlords entering the 10,000 demon realm this time. Therefore, it was common for them to fight each other for opportunities. Ling Xiao did not take part in their battle. The sacred origin medicines were not very attractive to Ling Xiao. However, he did come across some precious heavenly resources along the way, so Ling Xiao collected them along the way. Ling Xiao's speed was not fast. He rode on the clouds and crossed over many mountains. He was getting closer and closer to the 10,000 fey ancient tree in the central region. Whoosh! However, at this moment, a resplendent streak of golden light flew over from the distance. It was extremely fast, and it possessed a strange spirituality as it headed straight for the clouds. Ling Xiao casually reached out and caught the golden light in his palm. This is the 10,000 demon fruit. There was a strange look in Ling Xiao's eyes. The golden light in his palm was a golden fruit the size of a fist. Within it, there seemed to be a golden dragon that was faintly discernible. It looked translucent and had a fragrant aroma. It jumped slightly in Ling Xiao's palm as if it wanted to escape from his control. Ling Xiao was almost instantly sure that the golden fruit was the 10,000 demon fruit. It was not only because of the vast energy contained in the golden fruit, but more importantly, the aura that the golden fruit exuded was of the same origin as the 10,000 fey ancient tree. However, the 10,000 demon fruit that others had been fighting for so long had not been found. Yet, it had come to Ling Xiao by itself. His luck was really out of this world. However, Ling Xiao soon found that he was surrounded by a group of demon overlords. The leader was a demon king. Kid, hand over the 10,000 demon fruit. It was a demon king with a bull's head and a human body. He wore animal skin and was muscular all over. He was full of explosive power, and his eyes were full of greed and fervor. Although the surrounding demon overlords were a little afraid of the demon king with a bull's head, the attraction of the 10,000 demon fruit forced them to suppress their inner fear and surround Ling Xiao. In particular, there were a few demon clan experts in the Great Saint realm. Their eyes were full of excitement. If they could get the 10,000 demon fruit, they could immediately break through to the Saint King realm and become a powerful demon king. You don't know me? Ling Xiao looked at the bull-headed demon king in front of him with a strange look in his eyes. Know you? You're just a great saint. What qualifications do you have for me to know you? Quickly hand over the 10,000 demon fruit to me, or I'll kill you. The demon king with a bull's eyes glared fiercely as he sneered. Even the 8-pole king was defeated by me. You don't know me. It seems that my reputation is still not big enough. Ling Xiao sighed softly, and a teasing look appeared in his eyes. What? The surrounding demon overlords could not help but change their expressions, and a look of suspicion appeared in their eyes. Although they did not see the battle between Ling Xiao and the Eight-Pole King with their own eyes, they heard that the Eight-Pole King was defeated by a great saint. Could it be this person in front of them? Seeing Ling Xiao's indifferent and calm look, the demon overlords could not help but believe it, and they all had the intention to retreat. If it was really the ruthless person who defeated the Eight-Pole King, they were really courting death. Defeated the Eight-Pole King? Ha ha ha. You? The Eight-Pole King is the person I admire the most. Although he is only ranked third among the demon kings of the 72 caves, his real combat strength is undeniably the best. The Eight-Pole King is my big brother. How dare you slander my big brother? I think you're tired of living. The demon king with a bull's head was taken aback, and then he burst into laughter, his eyes full of mockery. The demon overlords looked at the demon king with a trace of pity in their eyes. This guy probably came to the demon city on the last day, right? Otherwise, how could he not have heard the news of the Eight-Pole King being defeated? However, the demon overlords did not intend to remind the demon king of this. Instead, they planned to let the demon king take the lead. If this young man was really the person who defeated the Eight-Pole King, then needless to say, they just had to run for their lives. If this young man was bluffing, they could also wait for an opportunity to take action. Maybe they could find an opportunity to snatch the 10,000 demon fruit. Genius memorized this site's address in 1 second. Mobile version of reading website. Chapter 2646. You old bull, the ignorant are truly fearless. Fine, if you can take one of my punches, I won't kill you and will give you a chance to be my mount. How about it? Ling Xiao smiled faintly. In this 10,000 demon realm, he really needed a mount. This bull-headed demon king seemed to have an extraordinary bloodline and was very suitable for him. How dare you? You want me to be your mount? Do you think you are a great demon king? If you don't want to hand over the 10,000 demon fruit, then go to hell. The bull-headed demon king was furious. His eyes flashed fiercely as he pounced towards Ling Xiao and punched towards Ling Xiao's chest. Kacha! As if there was a blazing thunderbolt, the bull-headed demon king's chi and blood rose. His fist was surrounded by purple-green lightning and his fist was extremely fierce, causing the void to tremble violently. This is the bloodline of the Kuei ox? I didn't expect your true form to be the ancient divine beast Kuei ox. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of surprise. This bull-headed demon king looked very ordinary, but when he attacked, Ling Xiao found that he actually had the bloodline of the Kuei ox. His true form was the ancient divine beast Kuei ox, born to control the law of thunder and extremely powerful. Not bad. The Kuei ox is barely qualified to be my mount. Ling Xiao smiled and also punched towards the bull-headed demon king. Ling Xiao's fist emitted a purple light that was dazzling. Although it was silent, there was an immortal and mysterious fluctuation that filled the air. Bang! The two huge fists collided in the void. In an instant, heaven and earth roared and the void directly shattered. The bull-headed demon king felt an unparalleled divine power surging towards him. In an instant, his body trembled violently and he was directly sent flying. The bull-headed demon king smashed into the ground in the distance, smashing a small mountain. Whoosh! Ling Xiao's figure flashed and instantly appeared in front of the bull-headed demon king. Damn it, the bull-headed demon king was furious and struggled to stand up. However, a footprint fell from the sky and directly stepped on his face, stomping him into the ground. The bull-headed demon monarch was about to go mad with anger. This was the greatest humiliation. A demon monarch actually had his face trampled into the mud like this? Intolerable. Roar! The bull-headed demon king roared. Terrifying chi and blood condensed around him. Blazing lightning rose up, wanting to send Ling Xiao flying so that he could stand up. Behave yourself. Ling Xiao exerted force with his feet, and a vast amount of divine power pressed down. At the same time, a powerful great Tao of lightning directly dispersed the ox-head demon king's qi and blood, as well as the great Tao of lightning that he had condensed. He was like a dead dog, unable to move. You! Who are you? The bull-headed demon king roared, his eyes filled with shock and anger. This young man seemed to only have the cultivation of great sage realm. How could he have such terrifying battle strength? He suppressed him so easily. Could it be that what he said was true? The Eight Extremities King was defeated by him. But how was that possible? The Eight Extremities Monarch's innate ability was the law of space. Once the invincible power of space was unleashed, which demon monarch would be a match for him? He really is the one who defeated the Eight Extremities King. Let's go. When the surrounding demon saints saw how easily Ling Xiao suppressed the bull-headed demon king, their eyes were filled with terror. They all scattered and fled. Ling Xiao ignored them. They were just a group of small demons. Who am I? I just said that I'm the one who defeated the Eight Extremities King. Why don't you believe me? Ling Xiao sighed softly. How would I know that you defeated the Eight Extremities King? I didn't see it. Brother, let's make a deal. If you let me go, I promise that I won't have any ideas about you. How about that? The bull-headed demon king said gloomily. He had indeed been delayed by something and had only arrived at the demon city on the last day. He did not know that Ling Xiao had defeated the Eight Extremities King. If he had known that even the Eight Extremities King had been defeated by Ling Xiao, why would he have come to find trouble with Ling Xiao? That won't do. I'll give you two choices. Either you become my mount or you die. Ling Xiao said indifferently. Become your mount? Don't even think about it. I, the great one-legged ox demon king, would rather die than become your mount. The bull-headed demon king roared. His voice was like thunder, shaking the void and buzzing. It seems that you refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Ling Xiao snorted coldly. He suddenly exerted force under his feet and violent divine power gushed out. Half of the bull-headed demon king's face was smashed. A cold killing intent seemed to rush into his sea of consciousness and obliterate his primordial spirit. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Big brother, stop. I was wrong. I surrender. The bull-headed demon king screamed like a pig being slaughtered. Blood spurted from his mouth and he was so frightened that he hurriedly said. One-legged ox, are you so afraid of death that you don't even care about the dignity of the demon race? The demon king I met before would rather die than be a mount for someone else. Ling Xiao moved his feet and looked at the one-legged ox demon king speechlessly. This guy was too cowardly. Ling Xiao originally thought that he was a tough nut to crack. He did not expect that he would slap his own face in the blink of an eye. He had not even killed him and this guy was already afraid. The Heavenly Wolf King and the Black Panther King were the real tough nuts. They would rather die than submit to the old goat. In the end, they only formed a soul contract. Hee, master, as the saying goes, a wise man submits to circumstances. If I die, I will have nothing. Besides, it is my honor to be a mount for a peerless expert like you. The one-legged ox demon king stood up and laughed shamelessly. You think the Eight Extremities King will let you be his underling? Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with disbelief. Of course. The Eight Extremities King is my big brother. Who doesn't know the demon kings of the 72 caves? I'm not bragging, but even the top 10 demon kings have to give me some face when they see me. The one-legged ox demon king laughed proudly. Don't show off. Quickly show your true form and take me to the 10,000 demons ancient tree. Ling Xiao slapped the one-legged ox demon king's head and said snappily. Master, why are you going to the 10,000 demons ancient tree? The 10,000 demons fruit has long been separated from the 10,000 demons ancient tree and scattered all over the 10,000 demons realm. The one-legged ox demon king asked curiously. However, His body still shone and he showed his true form. It was a one-legged ox that was about 10 feet tall. Its entire body emitted a chaotic color and was surrounded by purple-green thunderbolts. It flashed with a blazing light and was as dazzling as the sun and the moon. It had no horns on its head and only 1 foot on its abdomen. It emitted the power of wind and thunder, ancient and mysterious. This was the ancient divine beast, one-legged ox. Ling Xiao could feel that the one-legged ox demon king's bloodline was extremely rich. Even if it was not at the level of the ancient divine beast one-legged ox, it was not far from it. If he could swallow a 10,000 demons fruit, perhaps the one-legged ox demon king's bloodline could revert to its ancestors and become the real one-legged ox. I'm not looking for the 10,000 demons fruit. I feel that the 10,000 demons ancient tree is a little strange and I want to investigate it. Don't talk nonsense, let's go. Ling Xiao jumped up and rode on the one-legged ox's back. He slapped the one-legged ox's head and said, "All right, master, sit tight." The one-legged ox said. His voice was like thunder. In an instant, he shot into the sky. The surrounding wind and thunder rumbled and the blazing divine light lit up the void. His speed was extremely fast and he was very flashy. He moved directly in the direction of the 10,000 demons ancient tree. Genius memorized this site's address in a second. Mobile version of reading website. Chapter 2647. Rumble. More than a dozen monster kings were engaged in a fierce battle with each other. Their roars rose and fell one after another. Blazing divine light swept in all directions, turning the surrounding towering ancient trees into dust. Mountains crumbled one after another. Sand and pebbles were sent flying as divine light whistled through the air. The scene was incomparably terrifying. The battle between the monster kings was extremely fierce. Each of their fists hit the flesh, and each of their attacks contained the power to destroy heaven and earth. A golden fruit was thrown out by an archfiend. It landed in the hands of another archfiend. Immediately, everyone attacked that archfiend. They were engaged in a fierce battle because of a 10,000 demonic fruit. As for the 10,000 demonic fruit, it appeared abruptly as if it appeared out of thin air. However, these monster kings seemed to be a little stupid. They did not think about where the 10,000 demonic fruit came from. After seeing the 10,000 demonic fruit, they began to snatch it, and a fierce battle broke out. How is it? Can we start now? On a distant mountain, the old goat, Taoist Wu Yang, Heavenly Wolf King, and Black Panther King's eyes were full of eagerness. The old goat asked impatiently. Wait a little longer. Although we did not set up the array, there are more than a dozen monster kings. If they break out of the array, it will be a big joke. Let them consume some of their strength first. Taoist Wu Yang rolled his eyes and chuckled. Young master, can we really capture more than a dozen monster kings alive? Heavenly Wolf King and Black Panther King looked at each other and asked with uncertainty. Both of them felt their hearts beating wildly. The old goat and Taoist Wu Yang were too crazy. They actually wanted to capture more than a dozen monster kings alive. Don't worry. After we capture more than a dozen monster kings alive, we will make them submit to this young master one by one. At that time, we will lead them to sweep across the 10,000 demonic realm and get all the 10,000 demonic fruits. The old goat said in high spirits. After they entered the 10,000 demonic realm, fortunately, they were not far away from each other. The old goat and Taoist Wu Yang soon met up. As for Heavenly Wolf King and Black Panther King, because they had formed a soul contract with the old goat, they could sense each other very strongly and quickly gathered together. The old mountain goat was extremely lucky. When the 10,000 demonic fruit left the 10,000 demonic ancient tree, a 10,000 demonic fruit just happened to land near him and he managed to obtain it. However, after the old goat obtained the 10,000 demons fruit, he did not immediately consume it. Instead, he decided to use the 10,000 demons fruit as bait with Taoist Wu Yang to capture a few demon kings. Therefore, the two of them worked together to set up a Xianhuang sky ceiling grand formation. With the Xianhuang Earth Vein as a guide, they gathered the Earth Vein Dragon Qi within a radius of 10,000 miles to form this grand formation. Even though it was hastily set up, the old goat had a supreme formation disc in his hand. It could allow the formation to unleash an extremely powerful power. Even a demon king could be trapped inside. As for whether or not the 1,000 demons fruit would be swallowed, the old goat wasn't worried at all. The 10,000 monster fruit was a supreme treasure that could help a great Saint Realm powerhouse break through to the Saint King realm. It was also very beneficial to Saint Kings, but if one wanted to consume the 10,000 monster fruit, they had to find a safe place to refine it. Otherwise, they would easily explode from the violent energy contained in the 10,000 monster fruit. If one were to directly consume the 10,000 monster fruit in the middle of such a great battle, it would be akin to courting death. Therefore, the 10,000 monster fruit was passed around among the demon kings. Many demon kings even tried to avoid destroying the 10,000 monster fruit, but none of them dared to consume it. These demon kings are really stupid. Not a single one of them has been killed. What a bunch of trash. The old goat said as he looked at the scene in the middle of the great battle. Even though the battle between the demon kings was extremely intense and ferocious, each of them unleashed their most powerful strength. However, other than their innate divine abilities, they were only using the most instinctive attacks of the demon beasts. There was no order at all, and their combat skills were too backward. Nonsense. If a large number of them die, what's the point of capturing them? Taoist Wu Yang said snappily. Hee, I think they're all heavily injured now. It's about time. Let's go. The old goat chuckled as a glimmer of light flashed in his eyes. All right. Taoist Wu Yang nodded and said. The Heavenly Wolf King and Black Panther King shuddered as a strong fighting spirit appeared in their eyes. Buzz. A small and exquisite disc array appeared in the old goat's palm. In an instant, it bloomed with dazzling light. Runes rose and fell toward the center of the battle. Rumble. The earth trembled violently as countless heaven and earth chi surged, causing the surrounding void to tremble. Like a mist, it instantly shrouded the entire area. The void trembled as divine light surged. It was as if there was a mysterious force that separated the dozen or so saint kings who were fighting. What? This is an array. Who wants to deal with us? A saint ruler cried out in surprise. His face was extremely ugly. Damn it. Let's kill our way out. I want to see who dares to scheme against me. I'm going to tear him apart. Open up. The dozen or so demon kings turned pale with fright. Their eyes were filled with extreme vigilance as they roared angrily. Some demon kings even leaped up, wanting to break through the heaven and earth sealing array. Rumble. However, they felt that the heaven and earth chi surging around them was as heavy as a mountain, causing their movements to become extremely slow. It was as if they had sunk into mud, or as if they were carrying a few divine mountains on their backs, causing their combat power to decrease sharply. It's me who's dealing with you. This is your fortune. A faintly discernible yet playful voice reverberated in the void. Who is it? Get out here. A tiger-headed demon king roared angrily. His eyes were filled with cold flames and killing intent. Bang! At that moment, a silent goat's hoof knocked directly on his head, causing his vision to turn black. He felt as if his head had been smashed by a mountain, causing him to become dizzy. You! Get out here, the tiger-headed demon king roared angrily. Then, he saw a pitch-black goat appear in front of him. Its eyes were filled with human-like mockery as it grinned, revealing its white teeth. Then, another hoof knocked on his head. Bang! The tiger-headed demon king felt that the world was spinning. Finally, he could no longer stand and fell to the ground. Rumble. The old goat did not care about anything else. He kicked the tiger-headed demon king until his head was full of bumps and bruises. Then, a stream of devouring power surged into the tiger-headed demon king's body, temporarily sealing his cultivation. Then, he took out a powerful chain saint treasure and locked the tiger-headed demon king. Genius memorized this address in a second. Mobile version of reading website, M. Chapter 2648. The tiger-headed demon king's cultivation was sealed and his body was locked by a powerful holy treasure. Even if he woke up, there was no way for him to escape. All of this was done naturally and smoothly. The old goat was incomparably familiar with it. First one. The old goat chuckled and ignored the tiger-headed demon king. He let him lie on the ground. In an instant, the old goat's figure disappeared again and sneaked towards another demon king. Taoist Wu-Yang's method was similar to that of the old goat. Both of them used the bound of heaven and earth sealing formation to ambush the lone demon kings. Under the influence of the formation, the strength of the demon kings had decreased sharply. Under Taoist Wu-Yang's cunning ambush, they could not resist and were quickly captured. Although Welkin Wolf King and Black Panther King did not understand the formation, they could move freely in the formation. With the two of them working together, it was easy for them to defeat and capture the weakened demon kings. In this way, more than a dozen demon kings were captured by the old goat and Taoist Wu-Yang's group without much effort. Buzz! The heaven-sealing array of heaven and earth slowly dissipated. The dozen or so demon kings were all lying on the ground with their hands tied behind their backs. They looked very miserable with bruises all over their faces. After these guys were awakened by the old goat, they were naturally furious and wanted to kill the old goat and Taoist Wu-Yang directly. However, they were all captured alive and had no room to resist. Under the coercion of the old goat and Taoist Wu-Yang, they could only form a soul contract with the two of them and become their followers. Ha ha ha, today, I will sweep through the 10,000 demon realm. The 10,000 demon fruit is ours, the heaven treasures are ours, everything is ours. The old goat laughed in high spirits. Together with Taoist Wu-Yang, they led more than a dozen demon kings and swept into the distance. Although there were tens of thousands of demon clan experts who entered the 10,000 demon realm, most of them were demon saints. There were only a few hundred demon kings. Almost all of them were lone wolves and no one acted together. Just like that, the old goat and Taoist Wu-Yang openly pushed through the crowd and snatched any treasures they came across. Those who were obedient would become their followers while those who were disobedient would be beaten up before becoming their followers. Their two teams were like rolling snowballs, growing bigger and bigger. In the end, when the demon saints and demon kings saw old goat and Taoist Wu-Yang's troops from afar, they scattered and fled like birds startled by the twang of a bow. The old goat and Taoist Wu-Yang were like emperors on an inspection tour. They swept through everything and were invincible. In the 10,000 demon realm, in a mountain not far from the 10,000 demon ancient tree. In a cave on the mountainside, Crown Prince Bai Feng sat cross-legged. He held a 10,000 demonic fruit in his hand and was refining its energy. The 10,000 demonic fruit floated above Crown Prince Bai Feng's heart. It emitted a dazzling golden glow and a dense golden airflow. It flowed into his body and slowly merged with his heart. The energy contained in the 10,000 demonic fruit was too violent and could not be consumed directly. The best way was to absorb it bit by bit and merge it with one's heart. From there, one could obtain the great Tao law in the 10,000 demonic fruit and even awaken a powerful divine ability. The Black Tiger King and the Eight Extremities King both sat cross-legged at the entrance of the cave. They were guarding Crown Prince Bai Feng while conversing with each other through voice transmission. Brother Eight Extremities, why have you been so quiet these days after your battle with Ling Tian? Don't be discouraged. I believe that when you improve, you'll definitely be able to defeat that bastard. The Black Tiger King looked at the silent Eight Extremities King and comforted him. I'm fine. That Ling Tian is really strong. The Eight Extremities King was silent for a moment and said calmly. His Highness said that after he refines the 10,000 demonic fruit, he'll bring us to the depths of the 10,000 demonic ancient tree to cultivate. At that time, our cultivation will improve by leaps and bounds and we might even be able to break through our current bottlenecks. The Black Tiger King's eyes revealed a hint of anticipation. Black Tiger, have you heard of the Demon Realm continent? The Eight Extremities King suddenly asked. Demon Realm Continent? Of course I've heard of it. Legend has it that the Demon Realm Continent is separated from us by the endless Nirvana Ocean. It's the legendary holy land of the demon race. There are countless inheritances and treasures there. It's much better than our barren land. Unfortunately, we can't go to the Demon Realm Continent. The Black Tiger King said dejectedly. That's right. To the Demon Realm Continent, our place is a barren land. It's a forgotten world. I heard that other than the Demon Realm, there are other worlds. I don't want to stay here forever. I want to go to the legendary Demon Realm Continent and even the other worlds. The Eight Extremities King's eyes revealed a strange light. Unfortunately, we can't cross the Nirvana Ocean. The Black Tiger King smiled bitterly. We can't, but that doesn't mean that others can't. The Eight Extremities King said slowly. Who is it? Brother Eight Extremities, if you can go to the Demon Realm Continent, you have to bring me along. I've long had enough of this godforsaken place. The Black Tiger King's eyes lit up. Ling Tian is from the Demon Realm Continent. Moreover, he might be able to leave this place and go to the Demon Realm Continent. The Eight Extremities King said. Ling Tian. However, His Highness the Crown Prince has offended him. He won't bring us to the Demon Realm Continent. Moreover, he's only at the Eminent Saint stage. Even the 4 Grand Demon Kings can't cross the Nirvana Ocean. I'm afraid Ling Tian can't do it either. The Black Tiger King shook his head. That's not necessarily true. If we're willing to submit to him and show him our allegiance, do you think he'll accept us? The Eight Extremities King smiled indifferently. His gaze was extremely deep as it landed on Crown Prince Bai Feng in the distance. When the Black Tiger King saw the Eight Extremities King's gaze, he could not help but shudder. He quickly said, Brother Eight Extremities, are you crazy? If you dare to make a move on His Highness the Crown Prince, Lord White Dragon King won't let you go. Although Ling Tian is strong, he's definitely not a match for the White Dragon King. Perhaps. I'm just saying. The Eight Extremities King smiled faintly. You scared me to death. I really thought you were going to use His Highness the Crown Prince as a proof of your allegiance. Brother Eight Extremities, we'll definitely have a chance. Please don't take the risk. The Black Tiger King heaved a sigh of relief. The Black Tiger King felt as though his heart was about to jump out of his chest. Fortunately, he was communicating with the Eight Extremities King through divine consciousness. Otherwise, if Crown Prince Bai Feng heard about it, both of them would be finished. The Eight Extremities King was truly a madman. The Black Tiger King instinctively felt that he should stay away from the Eight Extremities King. Yes, we'll definitely have a chance. The Eight Extremities King nodded and said faintly. He looked at Crown Prince Bai Feng who was absorbing the 10,000 demonic fruit in the distance. A strange light flashed in his eyes before he quickly regained his composure. Chapter 2649. This 1,000 demonic fruit contains fragments of the Great Path Law. Moreover, the dragon-shaped shadow in this 1,000 demonic fruit seems to be related to the Dragon Clan. Ling Xiao sat cross-legged on the Kuei cow's back. As he hurried in the direction of the 1,000 demonic ancient tree, he took out the 1,000 demonic fruit and examined it carefully. The 1,000 demonic fruit contained boundless energy that was extremely violent. Ling Xiao could sense that if a supreme sage dared to swallow the 1,000 demonic fruit directly, he would probably explode and die. Even a king sage would be injured by the violent energy in the 1,000 demonic fruit if he swallowed it. However, the reason why the 1,000 demonic fruit was so precious and coveted by the demon sages and demon kings was that it contained fragments of the Great Path Law. It could allow a supreme sage's holy path origin root to transform into a holy path tree and comprehend powerful holy path law. However, the 1,000 demonic fruit in Ling Xiao's hand had a dragon-shaped shadow in it. The Great Path Law it contained might be related to the Dragon Clan. The reason why the 1,000 demonic fruit was so coincidental and came directly to Ling Xiao might be because it sensed the aura of the Dragon Clan's bloodline on Ling Xiao. Master, I feel that if I refine the 1,000 demonic fruit, my bloodline will be able to revert to its ancestor and become a real divine beast, the Kuei cow. Why don't you give the 1,000 demonic fruit to me? If you have a real divine beast, the Kuei cow, as your mount, how majestic would that be? The Kuei cow said shamelessly with a flattering smile on his face. It's not impossible to give it to you. However, this 1,000 demonic fruit is not suitable for you. Perform well, and when I find a suitable 1,000 demonic fruit, I'll give it to you. Ling Xiao said lightly. The 1,000 demonic fruit contained great path law related to the dragon clan. It was indeed not suitable for the Kuei cow. Ling Xiao guessed that the great path law contained in each of the 36,000 demonic fruits must be different. All right. The Kuei cow said helplessly. He knew that Ling Xiao was right. The aura of the 1,000 demonic fruit was indeed not suitable for him. However, there were only 36,000 demonic fruits in total, and they probably already had an owner. How difficult would it be to find 1,000 demonic fruit that was suitable for him? If I were to refine this 1,000 demons fruit, it would indeed increase my cultivation, but it would not be of much use to me. Now that I have the creation jade disc, I'm constantly comprehending the great Tao laws. It's only a matter of time before the holy Tao origin root is perfected. However, this 1,000 demonic fruit might be more useful to Long Outyen. Ling Xiao thought to himself as he kept the 1,000 demons fruit. The fragment of the great path law contained in the myriad demons fruit might be precious to others, but it was nothing to Ling Xiao who possessed the good fortune jade disc. The jade disc of fortune contained 3,000 great Taos. With this chaos supreme treasure, Ling Xiao could enter the Tao comprehending state at any time and place, constantly comprehending the 3,000 great Taos. However, with the myriad demon fruit, Long Outyen might be able to condense a holy Tao source root and break through to the great sage stage. If Long Outyen could break through to the great saint realm, it would be a piece of cake for him to deal with the young clan leaders of the other 4 sacred clans in the antediluvian secret realm. Before long, the 10,000 Fei ancient tree arrived. Rumble. Blazing lightning flashed and the divine light was dazzling. Dark clouds rolled in the void above, and chilly winds howled. The gigantic 10,000 Fei ancient tree was completely shrouded. The 10,000 Fei ancient tree was rooted in the boundless land, like a heavenly pillar that connected the heavens and the earth. It was extremely thick and sturdy, and it was hundreds of millions of feet tall. One could not see its end at a glance. The bark was ancient and mottled, and it flowed with the aura of time. Ling Xiao could feel the majestic life force hidden in the 10,000 Fei ancient tree. It was vast and boundless, and it was even more terrifying than the aura of a king sage. Even the 4 grand demon kings were far inferior in front of the 10,000 Fei ancient tree. Kuei, fly up. I want to see what's on the 10,000 Fei ancient tree. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he said slowly. He could see endless lightning and divine light converging and shrouding the 10,000 Fei ancient tree. In the void above it, it formed a mysterious boundary, as if it was sealing the 10,000 Fei ancient tree. All right. The Kuei cow nodded and immediately leaped into the air, flying towards the thundercloud in the void. Divine Beast Kuei was born to control the law of lightning, and his innate divine ability was also related to lightning. Therefore, although the lightning in the void was blazing, and even posed a great threat to demon kings, it was nothing to Kuei. Kuei's body was surrounded by purple-green lightning, and he instantly pierced through the thunderclouds with Ling Xiao, rushing toward the 10,000 Fei ancient tree. Soon, Ling Xiao arrived in front of the mysterious boundary. There's someone here. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, and he found 2 figures with powerful auras sitting cross-legged on the 10,000 Fei ancient tree, guarding the boundary. Who's there? Leave this place quickly. An incomparably cold voice sounded. The 2 powerful figures had also discovered Ling Xiao and the Kuei cow. The 2 figures were 2 powerful demon kings. One of them was a young man in a black robe, and his eyes were cold and filled with cruelty. His body was surrounded by black divine light and monstrous killing intent. The other was a beautiful woman in a white robe with a black skull embroidered on it. Her figure was very hot, and her beautiful big eyes were filled with all kinds of flirtatious feelings. One look at her would make one's heart flutter. Oh no! It's Devil Ape King and White Bone King, the first and second demon kings of the 72 caves. Why are they here? Kuei's expression changed, and his heart was beating like a drum. Devil Ape King and White Bone King. Interesting, they are actually guarding this barrier. Could it be that there are some treasures in this barrier? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, and a thoughtful look appeared in his eyes. Inside the boundary, the chaotic mist was surging, and the divine light was ethereal. It was impossible to see what was inside, but Devil Ape King and White Bone King were guarding the boundary, as if to prevent anyone from entering. Devil Ape King's eyes flashed with killing intent when he saw that Ling Xiao and Kuei had not left. He said coldly, "Are you two courting death? Get out of here if you don't want to die." Devil Ape King's voice was domineering and crazy, and it shook the void. The surrounding lightning became even more scorching and violent. What's inside this boundary? Devil Ape King and White Bone King are guarding this place. This is really curious. Why don't you two let me in and satisfy my curiosity? Ling Xiao smiled faintly, and his eyes were incomparably calm. Little brother, you can't just casually enter this boundary. If you do, you'll die. The White Bone King looked at Ling Xiao with a soul-stirring gaze as he chuckled. Brat, you want to enter this boundary? I'm afraid you won't be able to leave alive. The Devil Ape King laughed coldly as he spoke. Please remember the domain name of this book. Mobile version website. Chapter 2650. Master, let's go. The Devil Ape King is cruel and domineering, while the Bone King is beautiful and vicious. Both of them are terrifyingly strong. I'm afraid we're no match for them. I think we should go somewhere else to look for opportunities. The Kuei ox swallowed his saliva as he looked at Ling Xiao and whispered. It's all right. I'd like to see how strong the first and second demon kings of the 72 caves are. Ling Xiao said with a smile. You're the 8-pole king's follower, the Kuei ox demon king. TSK, if the 8-pole king knows you're someone's mount, he'll probably kill you. Although the Kuei ox's voice was soft, it was still heard by the Bone King. The Bone King's eyes flashed as she looked at the Kuei ox demon king with interest. The Kuei ox was about to cry. He did not expect to be targeted by this beautiful but vicious woman. He immediately felt his scalp tingle. He hurriedly said to Ling Xiao, Master, although you've defeated the 8-pole king, these two are not to be trifled with. Even the 8-pole king is no match for them when they join forces. You're the one who defeated the 8-pole king. You're that Ling Tian. A sharp glint flashed across the eyes of the Devil Ape King, revealing a strong battle intent. The teasing look in the Bone King's eyes disappeared, and he became serious. They had naturally heard that the 8-pole king was defeated by a great saint called Ling Tian in the arena of life and death. They did not expect it to be the person in front of them. Being able to defeat the 8-pole king was enough to make them take him seriously. After all, no one knew better than the two of them how terrifying and powerful the 8-pole king was. That's right. I am Ling Tian. Today, I really want to go into the barrier and see if I can enter if I defeat the two of you. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. That's right. If you want to enter the array, you'll have to defeat the two of us. The Devil Ape King did not hide the strong desire to fight in his eyes. Little brother, the 8-pole king is indeed strong. However, he's no match for the Devil Ape King and I when we join forces. Don't think that you're invincible just because you've defeated the 8-pole king. The White Bone King also chuckled. If that's the case, let's fight. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. In that instant, it was as if a golden sun had exploded in his eyes. With a tap of his foot, he leaped up from the back of the Kuei cow and threw a punch at the Devil Ape King. Rumble. The golden fist pierced through space like a bolt of lightning. It contained an unparalleled divine force that was ferocious and overbearing. It was like a long river and a setting sun as it pressed down mightily. Good timing. The Devil Ape King was not angry. Instead, he was happy. A powerful battle intent and madness appeared in his eyes. Black murderous aura surged around him. In an instant, a horrifying scene of a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood appeared. A black light flashed in his palm, and a long black staff appeared. In an instant, the long staff rose into the air, as if it was going to turn the entire sky into dust. As the saying goes, when the devil ape raises the 1,000-caddy cudgel, the jade universe becomes clear for 10,000 miles. The crazy, powerful, unyielding, and demonic battle intent that erupted from the Devil Ape King made Ling Xiao sigh in admiration. The demonic Ape King deserved to be ranked first among the monster kings of the 72 caves. Boom! An explosion sounded in the void, causing the surrounding lightning to explode. The blazing light enveloped Ling Xiao and the Devil Ape King, and the two of them flew backward at the same time. The law of combat. Good. Ling Xiao's eyes lit up, his gaze filled with admiration. This was the first monster king that could match him in physical strength since he came to the Endless Island. It was not that the Devil Ape King's physical body was comparable to Ling Xiao's. After all, Ling Xiao's primordial immortal body was the best in all heavens after refining 2 chaos treasures. The Devil Ape King's physical strength was about the same as the 8 Extremities King's. He had the primordial bloodline, so his physical strength was unparalleled. More importantly, the Devil Ape King's crazy battle intent allowed his physical strength to erupt completely. The staff in the Devil Ape King's hand was also a unique treasure. Ling Xiao could sense that the Devil Ape King had actually comprehended the law of combat. Moreover, he had already comprehended the law of combat to the realm of great success. When the staff fell, it swept across the universe, causing his physical strength to soar by more than 10 times. If the 8 Extremities King's talent in space was extraordinary, then the Devil Ape King's talent in the law of combat was even more terrifying. Again. The Devil Ape King's eyes were as bright as blades, covered with a layer of blood-red light. His murderous aura soared to the sky, and he became more and more deranged. Holding the long staff in his hand, he attacked Ling Xiao again. In fact, the Devil Ape King was even more shocked. After knowing that Ling Xiao was the one who defeated the 8 Extremities King, he did not underestimate him at all. Therefore, he even took out his weapon when they fought. However, that strike of his contained his innate mystique and his comprehension of the law of combat. Even the 8-pole monarch wouldn't dare take that strike head-on. However, Ling Xiao took it with his bare fists. Moreover, they were evenly matched. Strictly speaking, the Devil Ape King was at a disadvantage. However, he didn't feel dejected at all. Instead, he became extremely excited. It was the excitement of meeting a powerful opponent. The Devil Ape King's blood was boiling and burning. Every particle in his body was violently pulsing. The mysterious law of combat flowed through his body, causing him to roar to the sky. He urgently needed a great battle to vent his anger. The Devil Ape King was ranked first among the monster kings of the 72 caves because of his extremely powerful combat strength. Although the 8 Extremities King's talent in the law of space was amazing and could even trap the Devil Ape King, he never dared to face the Devil Ape King head-on. In a head-on battle, the Devil Ape King was the real number one. Unfortunately, the strength of the 4 monster kings was unfathomable. Although the Devil Ape King was strong, his cultivation was too weak. In the end, he was not a match for the 4 monster kings. Moreover, he did not dare to challenge the 4 monster kings. However, except for the 4 monster kings, the other monster kings were all trash in his eyes. None of them could withstand a single blow from him. As a result, the Devil Ape King did not have a strong opponent at all. An opponent strong enough to make him excited. Today, he finally saw one. The staff in the Devil Ape King's hand trembled slightly as if it could feel its master's excitement. The staff swept across everything, even the blazing lightning was annihilated in an instant. If it were not for the 10,000 demons' ancient tree, which made the space here extremely sturdy, the Devil Ape King's staff would have shattered the surrounding space. Let's fight. Ling Xiao's eyes also revealed a strong fighting spirit. The Devil Ape King's madness and strength made him extremely excited. Bookmark for easy reading. Chapter 2651. Rumble. Ling Xiao's fist was surrounded by a purplish gold light. Chaotic mist filled the air and it contained an immortal and mysterious fluctuation. At the same time, the roar of a dragon and a tiger resounded through the sky. Ling Xiao's fist was like a divine dragon's roar that shook the 9 heavens. It was majestic and unparalleled. Ling Xiao's physical strength was completely awakened as if it had been stimulated by the Devil Ape King's strong fighting spirit. Boom! 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 The Devil Ape King's staff smashed down over 100 times in an instant. Ling Xiao also threw over 100 punches. Every collision caused a blazing divine light to explode and shatter the endless lightning. Ling Xiao and the Devil Ape King's figures fought fiercely in the sea of lightning. The moment they exchanged blows, it became incomparably intense and violent. Ling Xiao's body was surrounded by a purplish aura. It was majestic and majestic. He was like a supreme heavenly emperor that moved the sun, moon, and stars. Every strike contained the power of heaven and earth. With the complete eruption of Ling Xiao's primordial immortal body, the Devil Ape King could no longer shake Ling Xiao's strong physical body. Every time they collided, the Devil Ape King would be sent flying by Ling Xiao. However, the Demonic Ape King seemed to have gone berserk as well. Its battle intent had reached an extreme point, and its aura was still rising. It was as if the berserk energy in its body was slowly being released, and it continued to attack Ling Xiao from all directions. It had to be said that the Devil Ape King's fighting instinct was incomparably powerful. In terms of combat skills alone, even among the demon kings in the demon realm, there are very few who can compare to the Demonic Ape King. Although the Devil Ape King was the demon king of this barren land and did not receive any powerful inheritance, he had comprehended the law of combat and understood the power of combat. This gave him an extremely powerful fighting talent. As the saying goes, if you understand one law, you will understand all laws. In Ling Xiao's eyes, the Devil Ape King was a piece of top-grade unpolished jade. As long as he polished it a little, it would be able to shine brightly. My goodness, is this master's true fighting strength? No wonder even the 8 Extremities King was defeated by him. If he used such strength against me, I'm afraid he could beat me into a pulp with one punch. The Kuei cow widened its bell-sized eyes and opened its mouth wide. Its face was filled with disbelief and lingering fear. Although Ling Xiao had subdued him previously, he didn't know how terrifying Ling Xiao's true combat strength was. Even if he knew that the 8-Pole King had been defeated by Ling Xiao, he didn't have any idea. However, what he saw in front of him made him completely abandon any thoughts of scheming against Ling Xiao. Master was too strong. If he had any ulterior motives, he would die. No, he would die a cow. However, that little hussy White Bone King hasn't made her move yet. That woman is vicious and cunning. She loves to launch sneak attacks. I wonder if Master can block her sneak attack. The Kuei cow glanced at the White Bone King beside it and muttered in its heart. The White Bone King seemed to have noticed the Kuei cow's gaze and glanced at it. Immediately, the Kuei cow was so scared that its entire body trembled. It squeezed out an extremely ugly smile on its face, revealing what it thought was a simple and honest expression. The White Bone King did not pay attention to the Kuei cow because she was also extremely shocked at this moment. Her eyes were filled with a grave expression. She didn't expect Ling Xiao to be so strong. Moreover, it seemed that he had an absolute defensive power. Even the Devil Ape King couldn't break Ling Xiao's defense. This Ling Tian is just a mere great saint stage cultivator. How can he have such powerful combat strength? Is there really such a big gap between my endless island and the demon realm's mainland? The White Bone King's heart was filled with melancholy. She had long known that Ling Xiao wasn't from the Endless Island and was a guest from the Demon Realm's mainland. However, she still found it hard to accept that a great saint stage cultivator could defeat the Eight-Pole King. This bastard, why doesn't he seem to have any flaws? The White Bone King gritted her teeth and said. After Ling Xiao's primordial immortal body erupted, his entire body was filled with purple qi. His body was crystal clear and flawless, exuding an immortal and mysterious luster. In the White Bone King's opinion, there was no chance for her to launch a sneak attack. She originally wanted to let the Devil Ape King and Ling Xiao fight so that she could take the opportunity to launch a sneak attack. However, it seemed that she didn't have any chance to do so. Ling Xiao was like a turtle shell, causing her to feel extremely melancholy and frustrated. Boom! The long staff in the Devil Ape King's hand hit Ling Xiao's back, making a muffled sound. Ling Xiao picked up the long staff and punched it. The long staff trembled violently, and a powerful force surged toward the Devil Ape King like a tsunami, causing his body to tremble. He was sent flying, and the long staff in his hand almost flew out. Ling Tian, you're really strong. Next, I'll use the fighting staff technique. This is a staff technique that I created myself. There are only 3 strikes. If you can withstand these 3 strikes, I'll admit defeat and let you enter the boundary. The Devil Ape King stared at Ling Xiao and said slowly. Fighting staff technique? Then I'd like to see it. Ling Xiao smiled indifferently, and a bright light flashed in his eyes. This Devil Ape King was really talented. There was no inheritance on the Endless Island, but he could actually create his own combat technique. Moreover, according to the Devil Ape King's words, this fighting staff technique was extremely powerful. Ling Xiao became more and more curious. Fighting staff technique? This is the damned monkey's treasure. Maybe I can find a chance. The White Bone King's eyes flashed, revealing a strange look. The first strike, break the underworld. The Devil Ape King growled, and his eyes instantly turned pure black. A monstrous murderous aura and killing intent burst out. The black long staff in his hand suddenly expanded in the void, as if it had turned into tens of thousands of feet long in an instant. It suddenly stabbed into the depths of the earth, and endless murderous aura poured into the long staff from the depths of the earth. A strong killing intent locked onto Ling Xiao, as if there were endless gods and demons roaring. The scene of blood flowing appeared in front of Ling Xiao. Good. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with a powerful battle intent. He could feel the baleful aura surging from the depths of the earth. In an instant, the baleful aura gushed into the staff, transforming into a shocking strike that pierced towards him from the depths of the earth. This staff seemed to have pierced through the underworld, through the gods and demons of the heavens, and contained the aura of great destruction. This kind of staff technique had reached the level of an ancient heavenly skill. Its killing intent was unparalleled, and it was terrifying to the extreme. Rumble. Blazing divine light surged around Ling Xiao as chaotic mist spread out. It was as if countless gods and demons had appeared around him, forming an ancient and mysterious hell that contained the mysterious aura of the cycle of life, death, and reincarnation. As Ling Xiao struck out with his palm, the mysterious hell instantly emitted an unparalleled divine light. A mysterious shadow of heaven and earth came crashing down from the sky, as though it wanted to destroy the heavens and suppress the universe. Heavenly Emperor Prison Suppression Technique. The Supreme Emperor technique of the Heavenly Prison Great Emperor was ferocious and domineering, and its power was unparalleled. In terms of artistic conception, it actually complemented the Devil Ape King's 9 underworld staff technique. As soon as this Supreme Emperor technique was used, the Devil Ape King's hair stood on end. He felt a fatal threat, but it also made the fighting intent in his eyes rise to the extreme. This is your real strength? Chapter 2652. Rumble. The Devil Ape King's staff pierced through the 9 underworlds and collided with the Celestial Emperor's prison suppression technique. The void shook and a huge crack appeared in front of everyone. Unparalleled divine light gushed out, and the terrifying fluctuations seemed to want to completely annihilate all living beings. The Devil Ape King was sent flying, and the black staff in his hand trembled violently. What surprised Ling Xiao was that the staff in the Devil Ape King's hand was not damaged at all. It was so sturdy that even the Celestial Emperor's prison suppression technique could not destroy it. This was a unique treasure. In the blazing light, chaotic mist rose. Ling Xiao walked like a dragon, like a tiger, like a celestial emperor patrolling the world. His aura was majestic, and his eyes were dazzling. In the eyes of White Bone King and Kuei Nyo, Ling Xiao seemed to have blocked the Devil Ape King's 9 underworlds shattering staff and sent the Devil Ape King flying. What kind of superpower is this? The Devil Ape King's blood was surging, and his face was slightly pale. However, his eyes were filled with a fanatical fighting spirit as he stared at Ling Xiao. This is the Supreme Emperor technique, the Celestial Emperor's prison suppression technique. Ling Xiao replied calmly. Supreme Emperor technique. Is it the legendary superpower treasure technique created by the Supreme Emperor? It's really extraordinary. The Devil Ape King seemed to be envious and shocked at the same time. There were legends of the Supreme Emperor on the Endless Island, but it was just a legend. No one had even obtained the inheritance of the Supreme Emperor, let alone a living Supreme Emperor. Devil Ape King, your talent is extraordinary. If you could obtain the real inheritance in the demon realm, you might be able to fight with me. It's a pity that your combat law is not complete. Let me see how strong your combat staff technique is. I won't hold back out of respect. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. How could he not see that the Devil Ape King in front of him had reached the 3rd level of the King Sage Realm, the Supreme King Sage Realm? The Devil Ape King was only a step away from becoming a heavenly lord. Although he had figured out the combat staff technique with his talent, he was still a little immature. Speaking of which, the Devil Ape King gave Ling Xiao a very intimate feeling. The War God Temple's heaven battling secret technique contained the Supreme Battle Dao. Speaking of which, the heaven battling secret technique was also one of the most suitable inheritances for the Devil Ape King. If the Devil Ape King entered the War God Temple and cultivated the War God Temple's Saint Technique heavenly art, his strength would probably skyrocket instantly. Don't hold back. I want to see how big the gap is between me and the top geniuses of the demon realm. The demonic Ape King's eyes were bloodshot as a powerful battle intent gushed out from him. The second strike, annihilation of all life. The Devil Ape King roared furiously. In an instant, an endless amount of light gushed out from his body. His blazing blood chi rose up like a raging flame. The blood-red flames burned the sky and destroyed the earth. It was as if they were going to exterminate billions of creatures. It was terrifying to the extreme. Rumble. The long staff in the Devil Ape King's hand suddenly expanded in the void. It was shrouded in blood-red flames. It was like a heavenly pillar that swept across the sky and suppressed Ling Xiao. Vast battle law erupted. The staff seemed to contain the power of heaven and earth. It completely locked Ling Xiao in place. It made him feel like he was unable to resist and could only be suppressed by the staff. Come on. Ling Xiao's eyes were dazzling. In an instant, he took a step forward. A mighty aura rose up. His palm swept across the sky like the hand of a heavenly emperor. It was as if he was going to judge and resolve the sins of all living beings. Great Judgment Holy Technique. This was one of the 9 ultimate techniques of the War God Temple. At this moment, when Ling Xiao used it, it had the artistic conception of a heavenly emperor judging all living beings. It was mighty and terrifying. The Great Judgment Saint technique contained the supreme laws of battle. It could be said to be of the same origin as the Heaven Battling Secret Technique. Ling Xiao used the Heaven Battling Secret Technique to activate the Great Judgment Saint Technique, which immediately pushed the Supreme Saint Technique's power to the extreme. Rumble. Originally, the Devil Ape King's staff was extremely fast. It was as if it could destroy all living beings in an instant. Moreover, it was wrapped in an unparalleled divine power. Its aura rose to the extreme. However, when the Great Judgment Holy Technique was used, a blazing light rose up. The great Tao law contained in the staff seemed to have been stripped away. In the end, Ling Xiao's palm landed on the long staff. The long staff and the Devil Ape King were suppressed from the void and slammed into the ground. The ground shook violently. A huge handprint appeared. The Devil Ape King was slammed into the ground. He coughed out a mouthful of blood. You know the battle law too? A look of extreme shock appeared in the eyes of the Devil Ape King. Ling Xiao's attack was very powerful. However, its artistic conception was not as good as the Celestial Emperor's prison suppression technique. What shocked the Devil Ape King was that the battle law also appeared on Ling Xiao's body. Moreover, Ling Xiao seemed to have cultivated some kind of cultivation method. He could activate the origin of the battle law and easily neutralize the Devil Ape King's obliteration staff. The battle law is one of the strongest great Daos in the world. Although you have comprehended it to the great accomplishment realm, it is still very difficult for you to comprehend the origin. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Is that so? Why don't you try my third strike? The Devil Ape King's eyes were filled with arrogance. He had his own pride. Even if he knew that Ling Xiao was extremely powerful and that the outcome of this battle might not be what he wanted, he still wanted to fight to his heart's content. Rumble. The space around the demonic Ape King began to shake violently. Blazing divine light poured out of his pores and dyed the world a pure golden color. The Devil Ape King's entire body shone with golden light. The black staff in his hand turned golden as well. It exuded a majestic, ancient, and mysterious fluctuation. What bloodline is this? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. His eyes were filled with surprise. He realized that the bloodline in the Devil Ape King's body was extremely powerful. It was even more powerful than the Kuei cow's bloodline. He was actually an ancient divine beast. However, even Ling Xiao could not recognize the bloodline of the Devil Ape King. Shatter the clouds. The demonic Ape King roared. In an instant, the golden staff pierced through the void and shattered the heavens. It was like a heavenly pillar that came crashing down on Ling Xiao. When this staff strike landed, the surrounding space exploded into pieces at the same time. Boundless spatial turbulence surged, and chaotic mist rose. The scene was terrifying to the extreme. Shatter the clouds. This name, Ling Xiao curled his lips. He felt helpless. Although the Devil Ape King's battle staff technique only had 3 staff techniques, the name was not bad. However, the name, Shatter the Clouds, seemed to be targeting Ling Xiao. Genius memorized this site's address in a second. Mobile version of reading website, M.